I said, plug me in. I got stuff to talk about, damn it. I'll crawl out of my earbuds once a week to give you a show. That's what I do, folks. I do this show for the common man, for the people in despair. I bring this show into the world and I sell it everywhere. The simple truth lies waiting here, folks, for all of you to share. Hold on, I will take you there. Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. Midgets need jobs too, fatty. I'm just going to let that hang in the air, folks. You can take that any way you want to. You can figure out what conversation that was extracted from. But let me tell you this, midgets need jobs too, fatty. Was it said to me? I don't know. Did I say it to someone? I'm not sure. Did a passel of midgets hop past my house in their midget costumes and yell at me? By the way, I don't know why midgets would have midget costumes. Why would midgets have to dress up in midget costumes? You already know they're midgets. They're thumb-sized, for fuck's sake. It's not like they got to wear a shirt that says, hey, guess what? I'm a midget. I knew that when I tripped over you in the doorway. There was no reason for you to wear a shirt that says, check me out, I'm a midget. I know you're a midget because when I looked down, I saw you just before stepping on you because you are a tiny, tiny person. You are essentially an ant in human form. All right, so midgets need jobs too, fatty. Take that and run with it, folks. I'm in pain. I'm not going to lie to you, folks. I'm in pain right now doing this show. I can't discuss it other than to tell you that I'm in pain. So if anything happens during this show, I can't discuss it.
Why can't you discuss it?
Can't be talked about. It is a taboo pain.
It is a taboo pain?
It is. I accidentally said in a game of taboo. Oh, my Lord, it hurts. Desperately.
I went the other way. I thought you had Sade stuck up your ass.
No, really?
It's the sweetest.
Well, you know, because I have flown coast to coast, LA to Chicago, you would imagine that somehow Sade would wind up in my ass. Of course. I did not, however, wind up in Key Largo, although I should have. I wanted to. I wanted to go to Aruba. And then I wanted to go to Bahama. Well, but then there was a pretty mama. Anyway, so, folks, this show literally has devolved into just me doing songs like that. Over the past few weeks, all it has devolved into is me doing, talking and then having a song lyric pop in my head and then just blurt it out like a goddamn savant, like a weird, I would say lyric. I was going to say a phone savant. Why? I don't know why that would be a phone savant. Phones don't have lyrics. Do they? Actually, my phone does. My phone sings a wonderful song. It goes ring, ring, ring. It's not bad. All right, you're true. It says ring. It says one long ring. It doesn't say ring, ring, ring. Well, actually, my phone goes dirt, dirt, dirt. That's what it does. Which still, to no end, makes the people at my work freak out. And it's even better when I'm I'm Travis Barbecue. Because, folks, I don't know if you're aware about this. I star in a television show called Travis Barbecue, and it airs every night of the week, except Wednesdays. Huh? Because there's nothing real about what I do. It would be terrible. I mean, it'd be me being Travis Barbecue and then what? Making fun of, oh, well, I'll tell you this, fuck. I'll tell you what, it's a good thing there's not a reality show because I would have been put in jail for murder yesterday. Folks, well, first of all, I'm in pain. Let's talk about that. But I'll get to that later, if I even get to it. I can't talk about my pain. It's a pain that it's the pain that I dare not speak its name. But I will tell you this, yesterday I had clearly, now let me catch people up who are new, and I'm sure there's a lot of new people here. Oh my God, of course they are. You know why? Because they heard that midgets need jobs too, fatty, and they said we're going to jump on board with that guy. So I tell you this, if you are new, I am, you hear me today as Mike Schmidt podcaster, but when I'm not here, usually I am Travis Barbecue, which means I work for a local establishment that is a purveyor of pork. If I may, if I was going to say ribs and I changed it to pork at the last second to go alliterative, and I think rib purveyor is good. I like rib purveyor. Purveyor of pork works, but rib purveyor, that works really good. That sounds like a good name for a band too. Rib purveyor. I don't know if you fit purveyor never fits on a bass drum. It never ever fits on a bass drum. But I would be like Rush. You ever see when Rush went on the road and then they had those fucking chicken machines? Did you see that? That was totally awesome. Rush does this weird thing to make fun of the fact that, because, you know, there used to be like a wall of Marshalls, like a Marshall stack, and bands would go out there that have giant fucking amplifiers and things like that. And that was the whole thing. I wanted to be impressive, this huge stack of amplifiers. And did any of them work? I don't know. I don't think so, quite frankly. Some of them may have. I saw Ted Nugent shoot a flaming arrow into a Marshall stack once. He was aiming, I think, at a picture of a black guy, and somehow it went awry. No, who was it? Hillary Clinton? I think that's who he shot it into. Or I don't. It was.
No
Oh no, it
idea.
might have been Jesse Jackson, dude. Yeah, it was because he has a song called "Kiss My Ass." Ted Nugent. I've talked about this before, and in the song, literally, it's like liberals kiss my ass, Jesse Jackson kiss my ass, black people like fried chicken kiss my ass. It just gets progressively more racist and terrible. So when I saw him in concert, one of his big things was he set up a target, and I believe it may have been Jesse Jackson's face, and then he shot an arrow into it, and everybody went, "Yay! We don't like black guys that rhyme either." And then that it culminated in "Kiss My Ass." If I remember correctly, I don't know what song he may have wang danged my sweet poontang seconds after that. I'm not sure. There may have been a scream dream involved. I can't decide. There may have just been intensities in 10 cities. I don't know. That actually, when I last year when I was going to do the podcast festival in Los Angeles, and we were going to record it, and we thought about marketing it. We were going to call it. I was going to call it Intense Schmitty in 10 cities. We had it. It was like intensity with 10 Schmitties. I forget what the fuck it was. When I say we, that's me. I was the one who was jotting down names. What the fuck was it? Dude, I had whatever. I'm dumb. I had a bunch of names. All right, so hi, I'm Mike. That's so stupid. I got lost there for a second. I'm Travis Barbecue, and I'm not here, folks. And I'm very busy, and I'm a purveyor of ribs, or a rib purveyor, or a purveyor of pork, or a coleslaw delivery system. I don't know what you want to call me, but I got a car full of pickles, and it doesn't smell great. But my car would smell like barbecue. That's awesome. But I will tell you this: there was a pickle incident, not a string cheese incident, because then my car would really smell terrible. But no, it was a pickle incident, and I will tell you this: here's the kind of guy I am, folks. I work with a young girl who's very nice, and she packed up an order for me, and she packed up some pickles, and because she packed these pickles in a precarious package, there was a problem. It's a lot of peas. And so they tipped over kind of in my car, and pickles come in juice, as you know. If you don't have pickles like sitting in their own brine, you're going to just get like essentially dill toothpicks, because they're going to be horrible. They're going to dry out, right? You don't want that. So you have to keep them packed in a salty brine. Literally, you have to keep pickles encased in tears at all time. You have to have children's tears. That's what we do at my restaurant. I don't know if you're aware of this. We have children come in, and we are mean to them, and then they cry. And not unlike Mason Verger, we catch their tears, and then we put them in a package to keep the pickles fresh. That's how it works.
God.
Come to my restaurant and eat the pickles that are salvaged by children's tears. Oh, so delicious. Anyway, we have these pickles packed up, and I put them in my car. And by the time I got to where I was going, the pickles had tipped over and had leaked in my car. And I knew something was up because I could smell them, but I didn't know if it was just like normal, like no, dude. I got a fucking dill Nissan. It's like crazy, like the pickles. So I scooped them out, and then there was juice like all over the ground and all over my rug, and I haven't been able to wash my car since. And so it's like kind of like it's still vaguely in there. It's just like, hey, I think a cat may have pissed in your car. You know what I mean? Like that weird vinegar smell kind of in the air. Oh, it's grim. But the good news is now I get to call this waitress Pickles all the time. That's like her new nickname. I go, hey, and I do it. And it's not even like in a way where it's announced. Like I just started calling her Pickles, and she just accepted it. She's just like, because I got there and I told her they tipped over. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I go, now your new name is Pickles. And she's like, that doesn't seem fair, really. And I said, all right, Pickles, no problem. And that was 2 weeks ago. And now every time I see her, Pickles, hey, Pickles, what's up? And she just goes, hi. Like she's not even fighting it at all. She's totally embraced her Pickles existence, which is fine with me. And then finally 2 days ago, she looks at me, she goes, you're going to do something stupid, and then I'm going to be able to call you something all the time. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, if you only knew the things you could call me at this point. I mean, just all of the dumb things I've done in my life, you could just call me. And she was there the day I fucking karate chopped a goddamn mailbox or karate kicked it or whatever the fuck. I mean, like, dude, you can call me 31. That would be fine. That's a dumb picture I took. And I mean, you can call me Helicopter. Exactly. Propeller, if you want to do that, I suppose. Key Fist. Why not? Go ahead and call me that. That's pretty stupid. Another thing I did. Pencil Ninja. Yeah, why not? Jesus Christ. All right, there's plenty of dumb things I've done.
Call you Pencil Ninja.
I'll take that. I'll take Pencil Ninja. It's fine with me.
My friend Pencil Ninja.
Hi. So then yesterday, I had to take a giant order to a business, a large business. When I say a giant order, I know you're thinking to yourself, well, what's a giant order really when you think about it? Well, I'll tell you what. This order was $1,300
Wow.
worth of potato salad and pickles.
A lot of potatoes.
It is. Well, there were going to be people wrestling in it, so that was why they ordered it. And I'm like, oh, it's a good plan. But I'll tell you what. Do you know how many children have to cry to keep $1,300 worth of pickles fresh? Oh my God, it's amazing. We have to line up we had to get an entire Viennese boys choir and then tell them that they weren't really booked for a show and they weren't going to get paid and they had to find their own way home. And they sobbed and sobbed, and finally we were able to keep the pickles fresh. So, which is a lot different than the time we got those inner city kids over and we told them their parents had died in a fiery crash. And they sobbed and sobbed, and those pickles were fresh for weeks. So, I delivered to this business yesterday $1,300 worth of food. And I showed up. And by the way, there were a lot of, again, it was all pickles and sandwiches and rolls and things. And I showed up to make the delivery. And, look, here's the thing, folks. I'm about to bitch about something that I shouldn't bitch about ever. I recognize this because I am told by no less an authority than the guy who is the chief of all the drivers at my business. He is the Gandalf of drivers where I work. He is the boss. I'm going to call him Lenny the White. That's what I'm going to call Lenny. He is the Sherpa of drivers because he runs the drivers division over at Amalgamated Barbecue. So he's there at Travis Barbecue Incorporated, and he makes sure that all the drivers do their business. And I talk to him all the time because here's my feelings about tipping. And I think I may have told you guys this. All right. And I don't know. See, perhaps I'm harping on this too much, but it dominates my life right now. Because I'm small. I've made myself small, folks. I don't know why, but I have, and I'm trying not to. I mean, I'm myopic in that I'm trying not to settle. I want to look past everything and look toward future goals, but right now, my eyes are in front of me trying to make sure that everything just stays okay. Does that make sense? I'm trying not to upset the apple cart because, and although honestly I should because I only have one fucking apple in it. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. I have one goddamn apple. If that winds up on the ground, then oh fucking well. There's nothing I can do about it, right? So what I need to do is I need to get more apples into my apple cart. That's the point. I've made myself small. I need to be larger than that because I do this job. And I kind of concentrate on it and I dive into it and I do that because I'm just trying to make money and stay alive. And I mean, that's not good, man. Nobody wants to do that, right? Nobody wants to just make money to stay alive. Shouldn't you have other things that you're looking forward to, other things that you're looking to do, other goals that you have? Nobody wants to just fucking make money to stay alive. And I mean, look, I have other things because, again, I separate my happiness from what I have to do. And what I'm talking about now is what I have to do. There are parts of my life that make me insanely happy, but I do what I have to do to try to keep those alive and afloat and to make sure that I can enjoy those. But at the same time, I need to go back to doing more things. Is this making any sense? This seems vague. It seems quite vague. But I'll tell you what, if you played just the past 30 seconds for a group of children, your pickles will be fresh for fucking years because they will sob and sob and sob listening to me talking goddamn circles. God damn, that was awful. That was fucking grim. All right, so I do this gig. I mean, I just worked like 100 hours like the last 2 weeks or 105 hours, whatever the fuck it was. I mean, it's just, you go there and you do it and it's awesome. I like everybody there. They're really cool and it's fine, but it's like, that's not what I'm supposed to be doing, right? I'm supposed to be on your television in 30-second bites selling you fucking laundry detergent. I should be doing that kind of stuff. That's my future, right? That's my future. I'm in pain, folks. So I don't know what to do. So I wind up devolving into minutia, which I don't want to do. I mean, and I wind up talking to people about it, and everybody just nobody wants to hear your shit. Nobody wants to hear you bitch. Hi, folks, I have a show. Settle back and listen to me bitch. So stupid. Nobody wants to hear me bitch. Hey, here's me bitching. For 7 years, I've come here and I've bitched, and you guys have listened to it. I'm like, nobody wants to hear me bitch. Well, apparently, yes, some people do. Here's what I'm going to say to you folks, and if you disagree with me, that's fine. I totally understand because I have this argument all the time with my brother. If you order food to be delivered to your house, the minimum tip is $5. Minimum. That is the minimum tip you should give for any amount that you spend to get food delivered to your house. That's the minimum tip. Do you know why? Do you know fucking why, folks? Because when you order food, you are a king. You are a goddamn king. You are sitting in your house naked with a crown on. And I don't know where you got the crown on. I have no idea if it's on your head. It could be on your cock. I don't know where you put your crown. I know where Alan puts his crown. But everybody else, I don't know. But you could be literally, think about it, man. You are in your house and you're like, it's an emperor. You're an emperor. You're laying naked with your hands on your stomach and you feel a rumbling, like a gurgling in your stomach. You're like, oh boy, I'm hungry. And you clap your hands and it turns out nobody lives in your house who will just bring you a sandwich. So you're like, fuck. I need somebody to bring me a sandwich. And what do? You get your fat ass off the couch and you mosey over to the phone, or not even anymore with the mobile phone. Phones are mobile. You're not. You can stay entrenched. You can stay anchored. You can stay stuck to the goddamn couch and lay right there and go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to use my mobile phone and get somebody to bring me a goddamn fucking sandwich or a group of children's tiered up pickles. Get those over here for fuck's sake. But I can dial a number and have it done. And so you grab your mobile phone and you call a number that you know will work and you order food, whatever you want. Just this miraculous bounty that the kitchen will produce for you. And then some schlub will bring it to your home. You don't have to fucking move. You don't have to put on pants. Literally, you're sitting there, phone in one hand, dick in the other, and you're ordering a goddamn pile of sauce. That's all you're doing is you're sitting in your house and you're like, yeah, oh, and by the way, have some asshole bring that to my house. That's what delivery is. Hey, you know what? I want some ribs and I want some fucking pulled pork and I want a Texas rib and I want macaroni and cheese. And do you guys have any bread? Oh, you got cornbread? Give me 5 pieces of that and have some asshole bring it to my house. That's literally what you say. And they're like, certainly. And, hi, I'm the asshole who has to bring that to your house. So you then sit your naked ass down on the couch again. Oh, you didn't even sit down. You didn't sit up. You just grabbed the mobile phone. You just put the phone. And you know what? You didn't even put the phone back on the fucking coffee table, you lazy cocksucker. You just put it on your chest. You lay there, and I hope that that fucking phone gives you cancer of the heart as you lay there and wait for me to come over and bring you your fucking food, because you are an emperor. You are a king. You are in the middle of a goddamn treasure bath, and you're calling up looking to get somebody to bring you some food in the middle of it. That's all you're doing. Treasure bath. That's what you're doing. You're waiting for fucking Howard Morris to come in and go, sire, oh, sire. That's not a bad Howard Morris. Ernest T. Bass from Andy Griffith. Oh, sire, sire. That's not a bad, that's not bad. All right. You're a Mel Brooks person. You know who Howard Morris is. Yeah. Oh, so wait a minute. You're not saying I don't know who Howard Morris is. You're like, I don't think that's a good Howard Morris. What the hell?
It's okay.
Put your phone back on your chest. I hope you get cancer of the heart not liking my Howard Morris. No, you'd have to have a heart. All right, so. Right now, I don't even know. It's like 5 o'clock right now, and I'm recording it, Lily's. I got here at 2, I think. And then Lily and I spent 2 hours basically talking about how much we hate everybody in the world. It was just this, like, I'm so bad for Lily. I told you last week she's become me. She's become me. And and to the point where today I went, hey, you're me. Like, you're like really me. God, I want to tell your story. I want to tell your story so badly. I wish it was my story. Never mind, I can't. Yes, because that shows you're me. All right, I can't. Get your own podcast. Yeah, get your own podcast.
Tell it.
No, because I won't make it funny because it's not funny because I didn't do it.
None of it is funny.
No.
It's not funny. If you don't know what a Caesar salad is, don't tell me I can have one.
You know what's funny is Lily's like, she's like, it's not funny because, for years, I've been turning dumb shit like that into something that's kind of funny. To her, she's like, it's not funny. I fucking hate it. I'm like so mad. And then I'm sitting here with her and look, okay, I will not, all right, I'm going to say this right now. I talked to Lily today about her and I was like, how are you? Are you okay? And we talked a little bit about it. We went back and forth. And I was like, because I love Lily and I hope that she's okay.
Everyone's concerned about me.
Well, a little bit, you know what I mean? And because, look, I've been a guy that people have been concerned about. So I recognize that. So she and we were talking about it a little bit. And also because it kind of affects this show a little bit. Because I come here and I feel like maybe I'm imposing upon her in her life and her things that she's got going on. It's all sorts of different stuff. And we had a conversation about it. And I, right now, am knocking shit over, first of all, with my elbow. And secondly, I'm betraying a trust by bringing this up. Because why wouldn't I? That's who I am as a guy.
I expect nothing less.
Of course. So and you're going to laugh at me. Everybody out there is going to laugh probably, because I genuinely had this conversation with her because I'm concerned for her because I see her behaving like me to the point where I'm like, we need to have a talk because it sounds to me like things need to be worked on because you sound a lot like me these days. And it's so funny. 6 years she's done the show with me, and I'm coming here now, and we're having this talk, and folks, I am exhausting. Oh my God, I am. I don't know how you've put up with it. I don't know how you've stuck around. I think there's human moments that peek through here and there, but Jesus Christ, she almost stabbed a guy with a butter knife today over a salad. And she's telling me the story, and I just go, you're me. You know you're me, right? And she goes, I think I've surpassed you. And I said, well, no, because you ate your entree. I mean, that's the thing.
That's true.
Me, I would have been furious, and I would have sat there and brooded and fumed and made faces while my companion ate, and then we would have left. I mean, it was like, that's because I'm terrible. Although I'm trying to fix that, folks. I'm in therapy. I'm trying to talk to Shannon about that. Perhaps I'll consume an entree from now on. Perhaps Shannon has fixed that part of me. I don't know. But then Lily's like, yeah, but I didn't even want to go to this place. You know, the only reason I went to, and I'm just like, you are me. You are totally me. I have 3 places in the world I go to. It's terrible. That's what I mean when I become small. I need to open my horizons. I need to broaden myself. I need to go out. I got to stop making children cry just to make pickles fresh. I need to go ahead and live a life. Right? Right? Don't I have to get out there and live a life, folks? Instead of working 55 hours a goddamn week schlepping you your fucking potato salad? What is wrong with me? I got a car full of rice. I have a car full of rice, folks. Nobody's getting married. I'm not killing birds. I got a car full of rice. You want to know how terrible things have become for me? You want to know how small I've become? Folks, literally, I work fucking doubles. I work doubles, and I get home, and I watch Dragnet reruns that I've recorded with my modern 21st century recording device, and then I go to bed. That's it. That's what I do. You know what else I do at work? I wear my iPod. I listen to Dragnet in my car. I listen to Dragnet from the 50s on my iPod, and I watch Dragnet from the 60s on my fucking DVR. What is wrong with me? Why am I doing that? Grow the fuck up, snap out of it. I've been to a movie. Dude, I went to Godzilla. And by the way, let's fucking talk about that for just a goddamn second, all right? I went to Godzilla. And then I talked on the show about how fucking ridiculous it was. And then people wrote me and they're like, this Godzilla was awesome, or whatever the fuck. People wrote me and everybody's got their... Because you know why? Because everybody is right. Everyone is right. I don't know if you're aware of that, folks. Go to Facebook or go to social media or just talk to your neighbor. Everyone is right. They are all correct and you are wrong. No matter what, it doesn't matter. But I should tell you this. I bitched about Godzilla on the show and I talked about it for a long time and I made fun of it. But at the same time, folks, I knew what I was getting into. I don't think I covered this on the show. I paid to see a movie called Godzilla. When we were finding a movie to go to that day, I was talking to Jill and I'm like, she's like, what do you want to see? And I go, well, X-Men opened up, but I don't know if you want to see that because you got to see the first one. And I just pictured her just fucking glazing over, watching Magneto and whoever the fuck else. And honestly, and I think I said this on the show, when she said she wanted to go to a movie, I was like, pick one you don't want to see because you're not going to be looking at the screen. Like literally that was what I wanted to pick a movie for. Okay. So when I picked Godzilla, I even said, I go, well, you know what? Godzilla's playing is like a big, loud summer movie. That might be fun to go to because she hadn't been to a movie in a long time. And she goes, I heard it was dumb. And I went, oh my God, I hope it's dumb. It's a movie about a giant lizard that fights a crab. It better be fucking stupid. And she laughed her ass off. And we both did. We just cracked up. And I'm like, yeah, that's the way to go. And then we went. And guess what? It was fucking stupid. It was. It was clearly dumb. And I know you guys want to write me and you're like, dude, no, totally, man. It was like the best Godzilla movie of all time. Good. Well, you know what? Where's that bar? Where is that bar? It is low enough for Godzilla to fucking trip over it. You know where that bar is? It's so low that I had to look down and see 3 midgets under it telling me that, hey, you know what? Midgets need jobs too, fatty. But someone wrote on my wall, they were like, oh, yeah, I might have been Fogerson. Fogerson might have written to me and he's like, because Dave, he made that mold movie he sent me, which was actually pretty entertaining. He was nice of him. And so I don't know if Fogerson, because he's a filmmaker, decides to lecture me or whatever, but he comes at me and he's like, hey, dude, you know what? This Godzilla movie is, and I don't know, I can't even remember his point because it was months ago. No, it was a couple weeks ago. All right, I read it this morning. You know what's in front of me right now? Hold on. I have it on a piece of paper. I printed it out because I was so mad. No, but it just made me laugh that people then, you can't have any opinion contrary because then everybody's like, you're wrong. They immediately tell you that you're fucking wrong. Whatever, who cares? Nobody cares. But the thing I forgot to mention was I literally, when I said to Jill, I'm like, hey man, you want to see Godzilla? She goes, oh, I heard it was dumb. And I go, it better be dumb. Jesus Christ, I hope it's dumb. It's a fucking lizard. And it was. Oh, it was dumb. From the opening moment where I had to see like a soldier return home to his wife and then he's about to have sex with her and she answers the phone, to the end when Godzilla wakes up and yawns and everybody goes, hey, bye Godzilla. And he's like, see you later. And he tiptoes out of the town he just destroyed. I mean, it was fucking awful. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Movie about a giant radioactive lizard. Kind of dumb. Kind of foolish. And also, I got to say this. I recognize that this could be me. All right, because I think everything is dumb except for 2 guys in old suits chasing down child molesters on my Dragnet show. That's it. That's the only thing that I think is good entertainment these days. I don't give a fuck about podcasts or music. I don't care. Oh, actually, that's a lie. I apologize. I do care about music still. I don't listen to music. I mean, I do rarely. In the car, though, I'm listening to old Dragnet, and it's always the same. It starts with footfalls in a hallway, and it ends with some guy getting off or going to. It's just awesome. It's like it's Law and Order in bite-sized form. That's what it is. It's like somebody took Law and Order and they made a shrinky dink out of it. They made it like a tiny. It's like a small. You know what it is? It's a Law and Order Tic Tac. That's what Dragnet is.
But it came first.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's been boiled down. All right, then fine. Then somebody pulled Dragnet like taffy and made Law and Order.
There you go.
I don't like it. I like my different Canadian analogy. I like the fact that Dragnet is like a Law and Order Tic Tac because you can just throw it in your mouth and you're like, it just like cleanses your palate. It's like a little bowl of Law and Order sorbet. That's what Dragnet is. I don't have to watch Jerry Orbach hamming it up. I don't have to watch that 9 black guys, different interchangeable black guys, asking a bartender what they think about the guy that they saw 3 days ago in the bar and he knew exactly who he was. I don't need to do that. I don't need to see John Mulaney's bit. I just need to hear Jack Webb and his partner Ben Romero or his partner Frank Smith or his partner Harry Morgan.
Wow.
Well, Harry Morgan's name was Bill Gannon. If I'm going to be true to it, I should use his real name. All right, so it was Ben Smith, Frank Romero, or Bill Gannon, and I just need to hear them solving crimes, man, and yelling at hippies who are hopped up on the junk. Oh my God, it's hysterical. Jack Webb is an undiscovered talent, and I say that fully knowing he's been discovered, but still. I think if you were to listen to a bunch of old Dragnets, you'd be like, God damn, that guy's really good at what he does, which is act like a wooden cop. I mean, it's just crazy. He's so... He single-handedly made you think of what cops are supposed to be. You know what I mean? He's just a blank slate. And I mean, later on, people then kind of showed cops for being violent or mean or whatever the fuck. I mean, Jack Webb can be mean too. No one cares. Shut up about Dragnet. Oh my God, shut up. See how small I am? See how tiny I am? Anyway. If you're in your house and you're in your Barca Lounger, or you're in your Chase Lounge, or you're in your recliner, or even if you're at the living room table browsing through coupons because you're frugal and you are thinking to yourself about money you can save, and then you go, you know what, with all this money I save, I could send out for a barbecue meal and have some jerk bring it to me. Guess what? I'm that jerk. So, as frugal as you are, you should tip well for the people who bring you their food. And I don't say this in some weird threatening manner. It's not like, oh, well, because you always hear those stories about like, oh, dude, they'll totally do something terrible to you if you don't tip well, or they'll, no, dude, no. You know what I'll do? I'll just do a fucking internet show and tell everybody what a jagoff you are. Like literally, part of me, I truly wish, because I mean, people do that on Facebook now. Like they put up the receipts and they're like, look at this terrible tip and whatever. And I can't do that because I can't afford to lose this job. I wish I could, but I mean, let's put it this way: do you think I can afford to lose this job? I just worked 110 hours over 2 weeks. Guess who can't afford to lose this job? Unless they were putting bite-sized me on television in 30-second increments to sell you detergent like I'm supposed to be, for fuck's sake. That's what my life is supposed to be. I am a walking beer commercial. Scoop me up, producers. It's funny because I'm fat, but I'm not crazy fat like I used to be. But that's another reason why I want to lose weight, is because then I think I can start actually kind of getting parts again if I were to go ahead. Because I have to get new headshots too. We got to talk to Beej about that. Because our friend photographer Brian Janes.
You call him Beach?
I just called him Beej. Because I didn't want to give his real name, I decided to shorten it. And then I gave his real name because you needed to know exactly who I was talking about.
What the fuck's a Beach?
Beej. BJ. Short for BJ.
I call him BCJ.
All right, well, there you go. You call him BCJ, but that's one step too many. It's actually 2 steps too many because I go Beej. There you go. That's one thing. One word.
I'm going to start calling him Beach now and see how long it takes before he hits me.
Well, just see if he reacts to it, because I call him Beej all the time, and he never says anything badly about it. He doesn't look at me.
He probably just dies a little inside.
Nah, well, he's a tiny man. What's he going to do about it?
Call him Pickles.
Listen, if he does something stupid with Pickles, maybe he gets that Beej off of his neck. Then he'll be Pickles. You know what? Thank you for reminding me about the pickles, because I got to finish that story. So I go out of this business. Oh, yeah, well, actually, it ties in with the guy on the couch, right? The tipping idiot.
The guy on the couch and the couch tipping.
If you're in your house and you call for food to be brought to you, if you literally, because you know what? You don't even have to order food with our place. All you have to do is dial our phone number. Not even. You can just hit a speed dial number, and then when we answer, we just go, hey, and we say our name of our, just go, and that means bring me food, and we will show up. We will be there. You just clapped twice because you are an emperor. You have put to death all of the prostitutes of Nanking, and now you are hungry and you demand brisket. So call us up, And we come there. You're like, have a jerk, bring it to me. And guess what? That's me. And then I come to you, I load my car up, I fill my car with all sorts of stuff, wonderful smells, spilling pickles, whatever you need, whatever you've ordered. If you've ordered wonderful smells, I have a bag of them. If you'd like meats and sundry and cheese and dried figs, I can get whatever you want. You want soda? I got 4 different kinds of soda. You want pop? Go somewhere else because we don't sell pop, God damn it. We sell soda. That's an argument I had with Lenny the White, who runs the driver division over at Barbecue Amalgamated Barbecue. My brother calls it pop. I don't know what happened to him as a human being. I don't know what, it's soda, dude. We grew up with soda. When the fuck did you turn it into pop? And I think he does that for his daughters. Like he wants them to call it pop. So he's decided to call it pop. And maybe if they call soda pop, they won't call him pop because pop's a weird thing to call your dad, even though in the old days, you know what, on Dragnet, they call you pop. But like, what do you call it, Lily? Will you call it like, give me a Coke or a Pepsi, right?
I usually say give me a Coke or a Pepsi.
Right. But would you say soda?
I actually say soda pop.
What? You combine the two?
Yeah.
You're fucking dead to me. All right. That seems harsh. Let me take that back. I don't agree with what you think.
Okay, Pencil Ninja.
I throttled it back there because dead to me seems really, really strong. But if I don't agree with you,
So it's
pardon me?
okay. I'm dead to me, so it's okay.
It's a good point. It's a solid point. We had that discussion. Because you are dead to you because I infested you like a host. I'm in you like a host. It's terrible. I've spread throughout you. You've got me in your veins. It's terrible. I don't like it.
You rubbed off on me.
Yeah, that's not good. You should like things. Stop not liking things. Stop thinking that everybody's out to get you with their false salads.
But I never thought he was out to get me. I just thought he was incompetent or a liar or both.
And then you told him all of that, which is
I did.
that's what I would do. I had a whole show on here once where I went to breakfast and I got into a fight with the dude and I sent my food. I was with your husband, as a matter of fact.
My ex.
Yeah. That's right, your ex-husband. I do that a lot.
That's okay. But again, am I supposed to just tolerate stupidity?
Absolutely not. And I don't, but then what I'm saying is everybody goes, man, you're fucking crazy because I don't tolerate stupidity. And I go, no, I'm willing to tell a guy when he fucked up. That's the difference between me and the rest of society. And now you and I are both now on the outlaw of society. We are outside of the concentric circle that everybody infests and lives in because they are all happy and that's who they are. And you and I are on the outside just looking in. That's it. You and I are like the orphans at Christmas and we're peering in the door and we're looking at people as they eat their fucking Christmas turkey and we're just like, dude, we should totally go in there. And then we're like, no, they'd be mean to us. And then we just sit in the snow the whole time.
Why am I with you in this?
You tell me. You jumped the fence. You used to be in there eating the turkey, and I was looking through the window at you, and then you waved and went, oh, a guy like him. He's kind of nice. And now guess what? You're out in the snow with me. Don't ever fucking come out of your house. That's the bottom line, folks. Don't be my friend. Don't jump into my fucking crazy world, because eventually you'll be with me with your fucking face pressed up a glass, watching the people eat their goddamn turkey dinner. And you're just like, God damn it, I should have been in there. I was in there. I was in there until you fucking came along. Yes, you ate your turkey dinner, but now, that's the literal turkey dinner, but your figurative turkey dinner is still uneaten.
Tell me more about the guy on the couch.
He's laying there with no clothes on. He picks up his mobile phone. He calls me and he's like, hey, I have some jerk. Bring me that food. You know what I want? 4 baby back ribs, and I want some coleslaw, and I want some rice and some stewed tomatoes. And you got a dumb fuck there who'll drive it to my house? Yes, we do, sir. He's here 55 hours a week. Send him over. And then I go to the Travis Mobile, and I run out. And I hit my sirens, and I turn the smoke around so there's like a smoke cloud. We actually don't have a siren. We have just like an oinking noise. It's like a fucking pig noise. It's terrible. So when you order food, literally, I mean, honestly, if you want it delivered to you, your minimum tip, minimum. That's a lot of M's. Minimum tip is $5. Because here's the thing also, we get people to try to get over. Like, dude, listen to this. And I should probably not be telling these stories because it's going to get me in trouble, maybe. But, I just worked 110 hours and I'm groggy, so I'll use that as my excuse. Because I've gone to celebrities' houses and they've been awesome and they tip very well because they have a lot of money. Okay, I have been to some celebrities' houses who I thought maybe should tip more. I've been to some organizations who I thought should tip more. But then there's people who, and again, my brother's always like, dude, it all makes up for it. Like eventually someone will give you like a big tip and someone gives you a small tip and it evens out. I'm just like, I don't want to hear this fucking speech. Don't give me this fucking speech. I can't be zen about $3. I can't. And it's what's so funny If you should be zen about anything in your life, it should be $3. Like that, you shouldn't care. It should just fucking roll right off your back. But unfortunately, I'm a mercenary. And if I'm there 55 hours a week, I want every goddamn dime I'm supposed to get. Every dime. Every dime. And again, that's because I've made myself small. I've made myself small and I care. And I shouldn't care. I shouldn't be. You know me. If I get invested in something, if I get involved in something, I throttle the fucking shit out of it until it's dead. And I pet my rabbit until it's finished, and then I wind up killing Curly's girlfriend. Or, I don't want to do that. Or did I kill Curly? Spoiler alert! I can't ruin a classic for you folks. So I throw a couple of false endings at you there. Or did I wind up getting shot in the head? Who knows? But I have that speech all the time, and he's just like, hey, it all evens out. And I'm like, fuck this. I don't need you to be Sam Elliott at the bar, all right? I don't need the dude abides as I'm trying to make this fucking money. Because again, it's the principle of the goddamn thing. Because if I come all the way to your house, all the way, and I recognize that's only 2 miles, but still, that's 2 miles you could have come toward me, motherfucker, and you wouldn't have to tip a goddamn dime. And if you're in a business and you're paying with a business credit card, tip me $1,000. What do you care? Why do you care? It's not your business. It's a fucking huge conglomerate. I've delivered to agents, like agencies and stuff, and some of them have been great. And then some of them are like, oh, we got it. And they give you, like, cheap out on you. Like, they give you like 4%. 4%. I'm going to go, dude, if you had a client and your commission for him was 4%, you'd drop that motherfucker. You wouldn't want that. You fucking unbelievable. Yes, I'm worked up. Yes, I'm worried about it. Yes, I shouldn't be. But it's my existence right now. It's what I do. It's the only fucking thing I do. I go to this company yesterday, pack up all the stuff. Pickles are in a cardboard box. Not just in a cardboard box. We did not have a cardboard box full of pickles. Hold on a second. That didn't sound right at all. No, we have like a foil pan with double fucking saran wrap, and it's filled with pickles and children's tears, and it gets put in a cardboard box and it's put in my back seat, along with what we call a Cambro, and then there's like fucking trays of salad, and also, dude, it was a $1,300 order. So I show up at the company, and they're having a company bash, and I'll tell you what, I also deliver to a lot of companies. Like, there are companies where everybody wears suits. I go to a lot of companies where everybody's like, hey, dude, sign the guest book. Want a Red Bull? And I'm like, I hate everybody in this building. I hate you all. I wish I could just leave and roll a gas bomb in behind me and wind up seeing all of you fucking dead in your jumpsuits and your goddamn Nike sneakers. That's what I want, Applewhite. I want you guys finished. Finished. We've talked about him a few times this year. I don't know why. I got the Hale Bop in my brain. But I used to work for companies like that. Dude, when I worked at fucking Load, oh my God, it was just like these fucking people, that was their whole deal. Like they would wear like casual clothes, and that was one of their selling points. Dude, you can totally come to our startup and wear casual clothes. It's like, great. And they're like, yes, and you only have to work 18 hours a day. And I'm like, well, all right. And we also have a laundry service. Did I ever tell that fucking story? At Load, dude, they wanted us in there all day, all the fucking time. Now, look, they had these people doing headline bots and designing and programming and all that bullshit. I was just creating stupid content. We were writing dumb sketches. So I was like, we'll work our regular day. But for me, a regular day is like 10 hours. My buddy Pat, who I hired to be my co-writer, Pat's regular day was 8 hours, and he literally left at 5 p.m. every day. He would get up and leave. And I'd be like, that was one of his fucking things. He's like, dude, I leave every day at 5. And I'm like, all right. And I'd be there till like fucking 10 or sometimes midnight just hanging out because I had fun doing it. I kind of surfed the net and I wrote and, hey, what a surprise my wife left. Anyway, so, but at Load, they started to do all these different things where they're like, hey, man, we will have a laundry service. So you guys can just bring your laundry in and don't even worry about it. We'll just take care of it for you. But it's because they didn't want you to go home and do your chores or do anything like that. They wanted control over your life. They wanted to sink their fucking tentacles into you and make you do the things that they wanted you to do. They had a fridge, and they're like, dude, we'll totally keep the fridge stocked with like Hot Pockets, and then there's goldfish crackers, and it's going to be awesome. We're all going to have like a sleepover. It's going to be amazing, and we'll all tell ghost stories. And I'm like, yay, that sounds awesome. And Pat's like, I'm leaving at 5. And you see the value in that a little later. You see the value in getting the fuck out of there. But I also was having fun because I felt like I was part of something. I felt like I was part of a startup. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be awesome. They were like, oh, man, there's stock options. And I'm like, really? Where are they? Oh, they're on the roller in the bathroom with the rest of the fucking toilet paper? That's what your stock options are worth, motherfucker. Just a nightmare. But it was fun. In my room, it was fun when all of us were writing and just writing sketches. That was great. But then when we get fucking, dude, the worst person I've ever met in my life ran that company. And he's still out there. It's fucking, I found him. He's on Twitter. He's got a blog. And he's still out there pontificating and he's still being himself. And it's just, he is just a terrible person. He is so horrible. And it's funny, he has a wife and a kid now, like a daughter. And he always posts a picture of her. And I always want to go, hey, have you told your daughter about the girl you hired to be a mascot for Load and then you forced her to get plastic surgery because you thought she should be prettier? Did you tell her about her? And that the first round of plastic surgery didn't quite go the way you wanted it to, so then you came up with a detailed list of things that they should do to her, and she said okay because you were paying for it, and you made her have more surgery? Did you ever tell her about that? You should tell your daughter about that. How you care about female body image. Yes, all women. But at least his daughter has unlimited Hot Pockets. So, I go to these fucking companies. And they're all just, it's just that thing. You know, you walk in, they're playing ping pong in the lobby. You know what I mean? You're just like, dude, you are not a company. You're not really a company. You think you are. You have a big space with chairs, but you chose to put a ping pong table in the lobby to show how fucking breezy and fun we all are. Dude, fuck that. But at the same time, if you've ordered $600 for the barbecue, then I'm happy to see you. Please feel free to tip accordingly. Well, I go to this company yesterday, and I should tell you this. All right, their order actually was $1,270. Wow. That was their total of their order. But they were out of our delivery area. We have a certain amount of miles will go in either direction, and you have to fall within those delivery squares or whatever the fuck for us to come to your house. You're only an emperor within a certain designated area, unless you're willing to pay for the privilege of being an emperor. Because these people were out of the area, so there is an instant gratuity charge. Now let's talk about my company's policy for just a second. And by the way, I recognize that I need this job. And I love all the people I work with. They're all fantastic, even Pickles. Pickles is actually my favorite person. That's why it was fun to tease her, because she immediately went, oh, dude, I'm totally Pickles. Like, she was into it. It was like, yay. If there's other people there and I'm like, hey, Pickles, and they're like, what the fuck? And they report me to HR. And by the way, HR is Hallie Robinson. She's a manager there at the store. We don't have an HR department. So please don't call asking for Hallie Robinson. Please do not call my work and ask for Hallie Robinson. And I say that because people know where I work. Like, I try to deftly dance around it or whatever, but there have been people who, as our friend Erica and other people, dude, all right, well, I should tell you, all right, well, I'll get to this in a second. All right, remind me to get to this. Remind me to get to people. Just say people later and I'll know what we're talking about. Actually say people and I'll know exactly what we're talking about, because I have to tell a story about Paul Stanley. All right, so I'm working at my gig, and I'm working there with Pickles and everybody else. And then I have to go to this company. I have to bring them their food. Wait, wasn't I going to talk about something else? Didn't I started to detour. That guy's on the couch. And if you're going to order food on your couch nude, again, no, he's more of a metaphor, all right? That he's just,
So we're talking specific.
there's not a specific naked dude on a couch who ordered food. But I have run into some scantily clad people, certainly. I had a woman burst out of the shower. And then I had a towel on and decided that she needed to go into her purse, which meant bending over and meant turning around and bending over with a towel on and nothing on underneath it. And I'm standing there and I'm thinking to myself, well, it's funny because I was delivering roast beef to you. At least I thought I was.
Oh.
But it turns out, and I will not need a tip from that young lady. Certainly not. She went into her purse to rummage around and look for some extra cash to give me. Guess what? I'm tipped. I'm sufficiently tipped at this point. I'm going to say that's at least 20%. Because I got to say, I saw at least 40%. I saw at least 40%. But it happens. I mean, it happens pretty often. I think I told the story on here. Did I tell the story about I went to some building in fucking Hollywood. And sometimes in the era of the cell phone, people will not be able to buzz you up in their apartment. So you have to call them, and then they will come down and get their food from you. So there was a woman, and I called her, and she came downstairs. And by the way, I'll tell you this, too. Let's talk about this for just a second. Hey, all really hot, good-looking people, you just don't care about wearing clothes, do you? You just don't care about wearing clothes. It's the poor and the fat, like myself, who are like, I need to wear some layers. I need a ton of layers on me. Because if you look good, you just don't fucking care. Like I've said that before. If I had a big cock, I'd never wear fucking pants at all. That'd be amazing. But I just wear compression shorts everywhere I went. That's it. And I would go everywhere on foot, so everybody looked and saw. So this woman comes downstairs, and I saw it. I recognized the name. She came downstairs in like a fucking like a half football jersey, like a really tight half football jersey, and a pair of orange shorts that were, I mean, they were. I don't want to say boy shorts, but they were just fucking. I mean, they were just tight, like painted on. And she looked incredible. She looked like a commercial. She looked like she'd have wind blowing through her hair at all times. I mean, like that sort of look. And she just came down to pick up her food, and she smiled, blonde, amazing teeth. And then it turns out she's one of the so you think you can dance people. Because I went back and I mentioned the name. I go, does anybody know this name? Because then I Googled her, of course, because I'm a creep and I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. By the way, I heard that song. You know what I'm doing here, folks? I'll tell you this too. I'm hearing songs, and I'm like rediscovering songs, and then hearing them and going, "Whoa!" Where I didn't have the impact. They didn't have the impact on me before. That song by Radiohead, "Creep," is just, dude, that is a devastating song because when you hear it, and because you actually. Because I feel like that. I know, because before I just thought of it as a radio song. I never even thought about it. The other day, though, or not even the other day, it was like months ago, I heard it in the car, and I was in the middle of a thing. I've spent a lot of time in the middle of a thing recently or lately. That's just me. That's who I am. And it came on, and I let it keep playing, and I heard the lyrics, and I was like, Jesus Christ! I felt, I completely identified with the song. The line where he says, what is it? He says, I want you to notice when I'm not around. And that just kind of really hit me right in the fucking stomach because it happened to be what I was thinking about at the time. And I was just like, oh my God, oh dude. Because he's, the song, he's like, you're so perfect. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. But that line, I want you to notice when I'm not around. It's just, oh my God, dude, just the power of it. And it's so silly because it shouldn't be powerful when you think about it. It's just words grouped together. But if you think of the notion behind it and you think of the times you've felt like that and all of the times in your life you've ever had that thought cross your mind, it's so powerful. God damn, it's amazing. So I hear songs and they mean different things. And that's pretty cool about music as you get older and you hear a certain thing and it changes. And of course, it's because of you and your life and the things that wind up coming in front of you and the challenges you made and the hurdles you jump and all of the fucking things that you do that change your life. You hear things differently. Things that you've heard forever and you don't even think about them. I was in a hotel room with Jill. We were there, and she's on top of me, and we're both shaking. It's kind of aftermath, and I'm looking at her, and I'm looking in her face, and we had music on, and the song "Waiting for a Girl Like You" by Foreigner came on. And that is a song I've heard a billion times in my life. I've skipped it on the radio. I've let it play as background music. I've never paid any attention to it. Even when I was a kid, I may have heard it and went, oh, that's a good song, and not cared about it. But in that moment, shaking, looking up into the eyes of the woman I love, it's played, and I looked at her, and I said, I am hearing this song for the first time right now. Right now. It just changes you. You get changed by events in your life and the way things affect you. You're shaped differently and you react differently. And I'll tell you, just that moment in the light of the computer monitor and that song hit and looking up in her eyes and with her hair just so, I felt a way I'd never felt in my entire life. So that happens, it's really great when it does. So I'm putting pickles in my car, which actually I know what it sounds like, but it is not a euphemism for what happened in that hotel room. Anyway, so. So I load the car up and I have to go. Was that what I was talking about before I got into? How did I get into Creep? How did I get into all that stuff with the music?
I don't know.
I don't even know either. Because I just started to say I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Damn it. See, that's what happened. I derail myself with the fucking songs, but it's not my fault. It's music's fault. Blame music, folks. If you got a problem with this show and the bees, blame music. Blame the musical bees. That, you know what? That was a B flat. I think it was a B flat that took me away. So I load my car to go to this business. And like I said, their order was $1,270. Now there's this out of area charge. And here's the thing. It can be a certain amount of a percentage of your bill. Like if you're certain far away, they'll charge you 10% of your bill. But if you're further away, it's 20% of your bill. And that's just kind of a hard count. But here's the problem I have with my place of business. And I guess, you know what? If I owned the place, I could probably change this policy, but I am not close to owning the place just yet. Even though I put in 55 hours a week, I am still not close to purchasing the business. Although I've tried, I made an offer. I said, hey, I will work 56 hours a week if you give me some ownership. And they said, you know what? We'll give you some stock options. They're on the toilet roller in the bathroom. I said, fantastic. I've been through this route before. By the way, I have no idea what the toilet roller is. I meant the toilet paper roll, but a toilet roller just sounds awful. You know what it sounds like? When you were a little kid, you ever had that corn popping machine? How awesome was that? Dude, I can remember, I remember certain toys that I had throughout my youth. I remember battling tops. I remember, certain games, color forms. I had Spider-Man color forms, which are fucking awesome. The best part about Spider-Man color forms, you could put Spider-Man wherever you wanted. He wouldn't stick everywhere, but you could take Spider-Man wherever to put him on the fridge. Let's put Spider-Man on the fridge. Let's put him on the floor. Let's put Spider-Man on the wall, just like he would if he was here. You know what? If only Spider-Man were here, he would really be on the wall, but instead, put his tiny color forms up there. I had Batman color forms. Awesome. I had a Batman Viewmaster. I had where you put in the little Viewmaster and you're like, shink, shink, there's Batman and Robin. Shink, shink, there's Catwoman. Shink, shink, Robin's trapped. Shink, shink, there's a tiger in that room. Shink, shink, the end. Viewmaster was not as exciting as they should have been, honestly, when you think about it. Shink, shink, there's the Joker. Shink, shink, there's Batman. Shink, shink, they're surfing. Shink, shink, Batman wins. Shink, shink, the end. I had a lot of Batman Viewmasters because I didn't care about anything else. What am I going to look at? Shink, shink, there's a dinosaur. Shink, shink, there's a cat. Shink, shink. No, who cares? That's exactly right. That was the third panel. It said, who cares? Because they knew they sold it to me. I remember that show. It was called Dinosaurs, Cats, and Who Cares? Yeah. Some extra dirts in there for you. So, what are we talking about? Where were we? Toys. Oh, corn popping machine. Dude. It was like from Fisher Price. Well, you don't have kids. That's a problem. You don't have any kids.
I had kids.
Well, you had kids, but you didn't have kids.
You're right. Nothing popped out of my vagina, so therefore I don't understand toys.
No, they were young, but they weren't super young. Like for corn popping machines, that was for super young kids. That was like me with a leash around my neck and total tiny overalls on, walking around my corn popping machine trying to get away from my mom. You don't remember that thing? Dude, it was like Fisher Price.
I remember it. I just didn't think it was that great.
It made like popping noises, like you'd roll, and it was a bunch of balls. You know what it was? Dude, it was the precursor of the ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. It was a ball pit with a dome on it. Dude, it was fucking brilliant. Somebody invented the ball pit and put a little dome on it. You know what it was? Ball pit for midgets. Hey, midgets need a ball pit too, fatty. So it was a ball pit with a dome on it, and when you walked, you pushed it, and it would go, and it would pop the balls all over the place, like a lotto machine. It was like a little lotto machine. It taught kids how to gamble. That's what it did. It taught kids to be little gamblers. And I was there in my little overalls with a leash around my neck. Did I ever tell the people that I had to wear a leash around my neck when I was a kid?
Yes.
Yeah, my mom had me on a leash. Because I see people all the time, all now, at the zoo, at the mall, or wherever, with the kids on a leash, and I'm like, I invented that. I was the original I'm going to get away from my mom kid. That's what they invented a leash. And actually, they didn't have like kids leashes when I was a kid. I think I actually had a dog leash on. I think I actually. I'm serious. Like, I mean, when I think about it, because it was a harness. I had like a full body harness on. Because it's funny, there's photos that exist of it. My brother Glenn was busting my balls on Facebook. He's like, dude, you got to totally put up a picture of like when mom had to keep you in a leash. And I'm just like, you're a racist. Which seems like kind of an overshoot, really, when you think about it. But it was the internet. That's what you do. Somebody says something to you, you're like, you're a racist, and you bring up all the reasons why they're a racist. Or Hitler was right, and you yell that at them, and then you run away and you hide. You're worse than Hitler. You should find those pictures of mom holding you in a leash. You're worse than Hitler. Although my brother he's walking a thin line. He's walking on a thin line, hiding on the front line, labeled as freaks. Set loose on this part of the city. I may be wrong on the lyrics there. But that was one of the Huey Lewis songs that I still think I like. Walking on a thin line, angry all the time. Take a look at my face and look what you're doing to me. Look what it's doing to me. Because that's about a Vietnam vet coming back. Right? Huey Lewis wrote a song about a Vietnam, I don't know. Because, that's the thing is I talk about Huey Lewis with a song about a Vietnam vet, and you're at home right now. When I say Huey Lewis, what do you think? You want a new drug? That's exactly what you're thinking, probably. Or you're thinking, do you believe in love? And I'm thinking, no, I believe I'm walking on a thin line, angry all the time. Take a look at my face and see what it's doing to me. That's what I think of when I think of Huey Lewis in the news. I only think of Huey Lewis. I rarely think of the news. I got to be honest with you. I used to work as a topical comedian. I thought of the news all the time. Now, the news completely could not be further from my mind. Huey Lewis, however, forefront of my mind. You know why? Supposedly one of the biggest cocks in rock. I don't know why that would make me think of him all the time. But then he was in a movie, a Robert Altman movie called Shortcuts. And there's a scene of him taking a leak, like they're out on a fishing trip and he takes a leak. And supposedly you could see it, but I mean, I don't remember seeing it. Like, I mean, it was a big deal at the time. But yeah, Huey's supposedly packing. That's what Pamela DeBar said. Was it Pamela DeBar? Or somebody else who banged him? I don't know. I'm never going to have lunch in this town again. All right, so that's a completely different book. So I'm putting pickles in my car. By the way, Huey Lewis is putting huge pickles in his car. So, God, how many kids have to cry to keep Huey Lewis's pickle fresh? I make myself laugh. All right, so, how do we spin off? I got to grab the reins here. We went somewhere else. We were talking about something.
Food was being delivered the last time I remember.
I was on a leash. All right, so I got to go to this company. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Dude, companies that aren't really companies. They might be companies. They might have like a fucking charter on the wall and a secretary and a phone. But so fucking what? You're not a business. You got a building. You're not a business. You're a building, not a business. This is an alliterative show. I will not lie. I'm going to nominate this to be kept in the warehouse over to amalgamated alliterative amalgamated. Jesus. So I pull up at this business. They're out of the area. Oh, so that's what I was talking about, the cap.
They're out of the area.
If I owned this business, this would be a different policy because if you're out of the area, it's 10% or 20%, but it's capped at $50. So if you order $2,000 worth of food and you're 10 miles away, the maximum gratuity that they impose upon you is $50. And that, as a driver, seems light. Now, I know you're thinking to yourself, Mike, that's 10 times what you said the minimum was for a delivery. Yes, I recognize that. But I'm schlepping in trays of mac and cheese for weeks if you order that much food. Week seems long. But still, it's a big delivery and you're a company. You got a fucking gold card with the name of the chairman on it or whatever the fuck. Tip appropriately. Tip accordingly. Tip generously. Tip automatically. Tip hedonistically. It's not your name. It's not your company. It's a goddamn building with a ping pong fucking table in the lobby. If you can pay for fucking ping pong paddle talc, you can pay me. So I load up all this chow. I pull up and then they're like, oh, dude, we've got to find the lady who ordered it. You got to have a seat. And so I relax. And then I've got to talk to like 14 different employees and they have to find the woman. And then I call her and she doesn't show up. And then finally she shows up and she's very nice. Everybody's very, very nice. I should tell you this. When I pulled in, here's what they were doing at this company, this business, this place of business, this very buttoned down corporate atmosphere. I pulled into their parking lot and there was a band setting up. And all of the employees had 2 beers in their hands. Not one. Everybody was two-fisted. Everybody I saw. Because I assumed there was a barbecue party that was about to happen because they had just reached a new high score in ping pong. I don't know. Perhaps there was a new ping pong champion at the company and they were going to fet him. They were going to honor him. But everybody, and by the way, it wasn't like domestic beer. They were all drinking imported beer, like, fucking, pumpkin grin ale or whatever the fuck, all that bullshit. I don't get it because I don't drink beer. I mean, they always, because it's like there's Michelob and Coors and fucking Bud Light. And there's these shelves of fucking beers I've never seen, like Spider Bite cider. Everybody's drinking that. And you're like, what the fuck? Just these hushed tones. The latest IPA from Somersault Breweries. It's the red, white, and booze. There's a shredded flag in every 6-pack. Oh my fucking God. Have a beer. Shut up. Beer tastes like beer. It does. It just does. Unless it's dark beer, right? Doesn't that tastes like bread? Doesn't that? I think it does. It tastes like a big loaf of bread. I don't know. I don't have it. I was asking Jill. I'm like, what's the difference between beer tastes? Like, what is it? And she's just like, well, because she doesn't like dark beer. She doesn't like certain kinds of beer. And I'm like, what does it taste like? She goes, well, it kind of tastes like beer. And I'm like, yes, exactly. But she can tell the difference. But it's just that thing where you can't, unless you know, you don't know. And I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't know what Spider Bite cider was if I fucking drank it. And by the way, if there's not a Spider Bite cider, feel free to name it, but credit me. You must credit me with the name Spider Bite Cider because I trademarked it right now. Lily just trademarked it. Remember when we did bookmeforyourwake.com when Lily was actually involved in the show and cared? Well, she just booked Spider Bite Cider. She went ahead and trademarked it for me instead of yawning in my face.
It's hot in here.
I understand that I'm teasing you. We're having fun. You're me. I feel I can tease you now because you're me. So... So everybody's two-fisted with beer, and the band is setting up. And a guy walks out in the fedora, and I'm like, great, that's the drummer. Because I knew. You know, the guy in the fucking hipster pork pie is a goddamn drummer. Unless he's there to write up the story for New City Times or whatever the fuck. Oh, that's what we need as a blogger at this party. Jesus Christ, go play ping pong and shut the fuck up. Grab a bottle of Spider Bite and go play some ping pong and shut the fuck up. Go get some red, white, and booze. Shredded flag in every six-pack. All right, so I pull up, and everybody's got booze, and there's a band setting up, and I pull up, and they're like, hey, we got to wait for her. She comes down, and then they're like, hey, we're going to split this order up. Like, some of it has to go in this car and get delivered to the other side of campus. And, dude, if you're a business and you call your building a campus, you know what? Just play ping pong until you fucking collapse in the heat, because you are not a business. It's not a campus. It's a building. It's a business, for fuck's sake. Campus is what you went to get a job at a cool place with a ping pong table. So they were very nice. And so I reach in and I grab the cardboard box out of my back seat, and it is soaked through. I mean, a cardboard box soaked through, you can feel it. It's soaking wet. And because it was stored in my back seat at an angle, the bottom is completely soaked through with children's tears. It is just pickle brine. It's pooled up on my seat. And in my head I just went, fuck. Now I'm pickles. So I scooped it out and I told them, I'm like, hey, I'm real sorry the box, and they're like, no problem, because I had to unpack the box anyway. So it just meant that some of the brine ran out. I started separating it for them. And so they had this $50 gratuity tacked on. And I should tell you, when you drive at my place, you split everything. Everything gets split. So you don't, like I said, when I already tell you a number, imagine it getting split three ways. So I went ahead and I gave them the thing. So it was $13.20 with the $50. And she gave me the card, and we have a mobile pay thing. Now we have the squares or whatever. We had to run it. And at the top of the mobile pay, when it ends, there's a spot for tipping. And you can tip 15%, 20%, 25%, or hit other and enter your own number. So when I swiped the card, she goes, can we get a round number on my amount? I said, well, yeah. I go, I don't know what you mean. She goes, well, I just need a round number. I don't want to have to memorize a bunch of change. And I go, okay, well, you're going to get a receipt. She goes, okay, well, I'll take care of it. I go, okay, well, I swiped the card. And I said, if you want to put an additional tip, you can press one of the buttons at the top. And she goes, well, we already tipped you for bringing it out here. And I said, well, yeah, there's an additional tip if you want to go ahead and put it, but if you don't, that's fine. And she goes, no, that's fine. I just want a round number. And she hits other. And so it's $1,320. If she hits the 15% button, just hit the 15%. It's not your company. It's not your card. It's not your business. You will not only be a ping pong champion in my eyes, but you will be the greatest person who ever lived. That seems strong. But again, you called up and said, bring me $1,300 worth of children's tears and have some fucking dumb fuck drive it out to me. And I did, out of the area. I'm out of the area. I'm lost. I don't know where I'm at. There's haunted trees. There's a spider bite beer. I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm going to be lucky to wander my way out of this haunted forest that I just brought all of this food to. You know what I have to do? I'm going to get lost. I'm going to pull over on the side of the road, and I'm going to have to lick children's tears and pickle brine off of my backseat to stay alive. That's what I'm going to have to do until they find me. The least you could do is make it worth my while. So her idea of a round number, when it was $1,320, $1,320, I saw her punch like a bunch of numbers, and I was like, dude, that's awesome. That's a lot of numbers. I can't imagine what that's going to be, but it's going to be great. And then I said, would you like a receipt sent to your email or to your text? And she goes, absolutely. And she gave me her thing, and I looked, and I saw the tip, and she did punch a bunch of numbers. She punched 4 numbers, but there's a decimal point in there. She tipped an additional $30. So the tip was $80 on $1,300 worth of food. Now, listen. I know all of you Lennies out there are like, dude, $80 is a really good tip. Especially for the first tip of the night, because you never know what the rest of the night is going to hold. And yes, I understand that. Who knows what the night can do? That's what Steve Winwood will tell you in a Michelob commercial. A Michelob commercial that would not see the light of day at Spider Bite Ale Industries. Absolutely not. But also at the same time, as the guy getting the $80 tip that I then have to split with the kitchen and whoever else, that's fucking terrible. I mean, that's terrible. $1,300. You got, and you're out of out of the area. $1,300. I had to get a Sherpa to find your goddamn building. I wasn't sure exactly where you would be. My GPS just kind of shrugged and gave up. But then in the distance, I heard the click-clacking of ping pong balls on paddles. And I knew where to find you. My ingenuity brought me to you. And you tip $80 on a $1,300 tab? That's woeful. Woeful.
Awful.
Thank you. Lily agrees. It's awful. And again, I don't know what to do about it other than to go back in time and go to college. That's really the only solution I have at this point. There's nothing I can do. I can't change these people and their horrible ways. I can't tell them what to fucking do. Again, it was the corporate credit card. It was made out of solid gold. It was gold. 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 If you can't go crazy with the corporate credit card, what does this world come to? Don't you watch Mad Men? What? You're making a face.
Not even crazy. That's not a 10% tip.
It's not even 10%. It's not even 10%. It's fucking insane. And it's funny. I have delivered to celebrities who overtip, like absolutely people. And it's funny because I want to tell you about them because there are celebrities who are shitty tippers and they always get like people like, oh, that's a terrible tipper. You know, Scottie Pippen used to be no tipping Scottie Pippen. They'd call him in Chicago, like all these terrible things. But like, you know, but then I'll get a delivery to someone who's famous and I know them and I'll show up. I went to a house. All right. I recognized the name once. And I was like, I think I know this person's name, but I'm not sure. I get to their house and I knock on the door and their house is behind a huge fence. I walk in and it's beautiful. There's like a pool in the front of the house, not in the back. And all of their walls were glass. And the woman who answered the door was just beautiful. And she looked familiar. I'm like, she really looks like someone. It was a strong feeling, but I didn't know who. I didn't recognize her, but I knew she looked like someone that I would recognize. I know that sounds strange. But it wasn't like right away if Pamela Anderson came to the door, you'd be like, holy fuck, that's Pam Anderson. But I vaguely knew who this person was. And then I walked in and I delivered the stuff and they had me set it up and they were super sweet and nice. They're having a party. And then her husband walked out. And when I say her husband walked out, I should probably more appropriately say her husband floated out on a heretofore undiscovered cloud of handsome dust. I mean, you ever see is it Venus on the clamshell? Like when she rises and everybody's like, oh my God, it might be Venus on the half shell, clamshell. I don't know. It's Venus in a clamshell. I have no idea, but it's supposed to be true beauty where it rises from the ocean and people are stunned by it. And I think they're turned to stone. That may be Medusa. Well, this guy, parts of me turned to stone. I'm not going to lie to you. When this guy walked out, parts of me absolutely turned to stone because he was, and I don't use this phrase lightly, devastatingly handsome. Like he was the type of guy that you would send to a foreign country to negotiate a treaty and they would sign it just because he got off the plane. Like, I mean, it was like a weapon. His handsome was a weapon. Like it stabbed me. I got stabbed right in the heart by his handsomeness. He was so good looking and I went, yeah, that woman is really gorgeous. But this guy, what the hell? Because he was tall and also he was like completely dressed for a Sunday party. Like he just had like a sweatshirt on and he had scruff, but it was that kind of effortless handsome where you're just like, oh my Christ, dude. And they were super cool. And they tipped like a ton of dough. And I by the way, I then, of course, I Googled them and they were famous, I found out. But I can't say who they were. Right? I probably can't. But it's a nice story about them. They were super awesome to me. They were really cool. Well, the gentleman is a guy but the girl, and then I looked, and then when I found, I shouldn't. It's because I can't decide. Like, I want to fucking say it, but dude, I need 55 hours a week. But this would be a great way to get out of being small. Burn the whole fucking thing to the ground right here, right? They were super nice, but let's put it this way. I'll just tell you this. The girl, it turns out, is an actress, and he's an actor. The woman, well, she's not even a woman, actress. She's almost my age. But it turns out she has famous parents. And when I saw her, I was seeing one of her famous parents where I was like, oh my God, I know who this is, but I don't know who this is. Like I couldn't figure it out. And then, because also when they ordered, it was the name was kind of different. And then when I found out, oh, it's that person, fuck, I should just say who it is, right? Shouldn't I? Okay. It was Natalie Wood's daughter, Natasha Gregson Wagner. who's an actress, and she's married to a guy named Barry Watson, who is in Seventh Heaven. But that's the thing. I don't know who Barry Watson is at all. I had no idea. But Natasha Gregson Wagner, I remember her from Wonderland and Two Girls and a Guy. And so that's why I vaguely recognized her. But it's because she looks like fucking Natalie Wood. Like she opens the door and I'm like, oh my, who? I sort of know, but I'm not sure. But they were super nice and super great. And then they tipped fucking stratospherically. Like they were really cool. So it happens. Like that's, where it just changes. But you know what? Also, I will tell you this. They were really nice. And so sometimes when you run into really nice people, it makes up for the fact that someone gives you $80 on a $1,300 tab. So I guess Lenny the White is correct. It all works out eventually. But the problem is when you run into the people that you fucking hate, where it doesn't work out. Or because sometimes I've been lucky. Like I started to tell this story a couple of weeks ago. I got a call once when I was working in Hollywood. And they ordered food, and they only used their first name. And they ordered, we have a thing called an extravaganza, which is a huge pile of food. I mean, it's just monstrous. And so you have to throw it up in a plastic Cambro, and you put wheels on it, and you have to roll it up their house. And so their address was in the Hollywood Hills. Well, you get the address, and you kind of look at your GPS, and your GPS kind of disappears into the stratosphere, and you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's kind of a high drive. But that's okay. You get ready. But the thing is also your phone will quit when you're fucking up there. It depends on what your service is. So I have to set both my GPS on my car and on my phone, but I'm ready, and that's fine. So I load the car up, and I head up. And I just drive, and you just keep driving up these twisty hills and up these canyons and up the caverns, and you're looking, and it's funny, you're twisting into the Hollywood Hills, and you're just leaving everything behind you. You're not looking, but then when you'll turn and you'll look out the side of the road, you go, holy fuck. I mean, there's Los Angeles. I mean, you're way high. You're not even thinking about it because you're just driving. But as you're driving and you're twisting and you're turning and you're moving and you're ducking and you're hitting stop signs and you're going left, you're going right, and then all of a sudden you come around and you're like, Jesus, there's the sun. I mean, it's like that crazy. So I'm climbing higher and higher and higher. And like I said, your GPS gives out eventually on your phone and you don't get service. And then eventually the only song you get on the radio is the mountain climbing song from Price is Right. It's really disconcerting. So I finally come around a curve, and then there's one house. And I think it was a house. How do I put this? It was more of a monolith, I think is the word I would use. All I know is there were a bunch of apes pawing it, and then one of them threw a bone in the air. I mean, it was like that kind of a discovery. I pulled up, and the thing is, like I said, you have to get the food out, and I could carry it in like 5 different times, or I could just put it all in this cart and roll it in. Well, their driveway was a large circular driveway. There were 8 cars in the driveway. There were 3 Teslas. There was a Cadillac Escalade. There were Range Rovers. There were Mercedes. And I couldn't very well roll the cart up, but I had to find a path, and I had to carry the Cambro up with me. I couldn't roll it because their driveway was steep anyway. So I carried the Cambro with all the food in it, and I have to maneuver past all the goddamn cars. And I mean, it's, you're carrying essentially 40 pounds of food in a 20-pound container, and it's got handles on it. So I want to throw it up on my shoulder, honestly, but I couldn't because I wouldn't be able to maneuver it around the car. So I had to carry it low, whatever. So I walk up to the door, and I got to tell you, it's like 55 steps from the driveway, the top of the driveway to the front door. Like it's not even from the street. So I walk up, and the front door's open. And there's just people in there drinking. And it's sophisticated. They're not, they're not two-fisted beers. They're not drinking Spider Bite Ale. They have wine glasses. They're not animals. They don't have a ping pong table in the lobby. Although if they had, they could have had the entire Chinese national team in there practicing because it was a gigantic fucking space. So I put the Cambro down outside the door because it's all hardwood floors inside, and I didn't want to put it on the floors. So I walked in. Well, first I knocked, and nobody really paid me any mind because they were rich. So I walked in their house, and hardwood floors, and the place was just filled with ennui. It's just models and wine and just boredom personified. Like they're just... It's a group of beautiful people waiting for something interesting to happen. and they're drinking and they're talking and there's light music. And I walk into a house that probably was the size of half a football field. I mean, the ceilings had to be 20 to 30 feet high. There's a winding staircase that goes up. There's another winding staircase I can see in the distance. I half expected a giraffe to come loping out in the middle of the room. It's like the house where the rich Russian dude from DirecTV lives in the commercial. It's that kind of huge. So, and by the way, I was more right than I thought, because I walk in, and the name on the ticket, I'll tell you this, when people only use one name, it's because they're kind of famous, and they don't want to use the last name because it will give them away. Or when people only use one name, it's because they only have one name. Case in point, Sade. I've delivered to her coast to coast, LA to Chicago. That's right, I brought it back. So the name on the ticket was Ariana.
Oh.
And I saw that and I was like, well, I mean, you see that name and well, there's really only one that I know. And then as I was driving to the Sun, I'm like, well, this is a possibility. I mean, maybe, who knows? And then when I saw the Teslas and all the cars, I was like, And the monolith house, which looked like a goddamn spaceship. And then when I get to the door and then the fucking football field house. And I mean, I walk in and I try to talk to people and they're just like, they keep pointing toward the kitchen. Nobody talks to me, by the way. I'm looking for Ariana and they just point. They all point. So I finally make it to the kitchen in about half an hour. I actually stopped halfway through and I put on some climbing shoes so I could make sure I got there. Even with the wood floors, I had to make sure I had some traction. I get to the kitchen and there's just a group of people in there and they're just like, oh, you have the food? And I get, they go, oh, thank you, bring in the food. And I go, well, it's actually at the door. I didn't want to bring in. They go, oh, it's okay, just bring in all the food, please. And they're, by the way, I should tell you this. They're in a kitchen filled with food. I don't know why they needed more food, but they had, I mean, just trays and tins and, I mean, of like, there's like a turkey and a ham. I mean, there's just amazing amounts of food in this kitchen already. There's only like 18 people here, and they're all fucking drinking wine, and they're thinner than the stem of the wine glasses that they're using. So I go and I start schlepping in the barbecue, and then these dudes walk over, these like really good-looking guys, and they just start opening it. Like they're taking, because the food is all double and triple wrapped in plastic wrap, and it's in foil pans, and as I pull something in, they open it up. And there's chicken and ribs. They reach in with their hands, and they just start pulling ribs out and eating it. One guy reaches into the brisket and pulls out a handful of brisket and just starts eating it. And by the way, I should tell you, this guy is wearing easily an $800 shirt, silk shirt, and it's untucked, and they all, but they're just, and gold jewelry, and just, they're rich. They're so rich, all of them, and they're so Russian. So, I bring in the last of the food. I'm in the kitchen, and sure enough, down the staircase, I hear her voice, and I know immediately who it is. Hello, darling. How are you? Hello, darling. It's Ariana Huffington, who owns the Huffington Post, who was also married to Michael Huffington, who ran for California governor, and then decided he was gay, and then they wound up getting a divorce, and I think she got like $100 million from him. I don't know. I don't know how it works. Actually, I do know how it works. That's how it works. You marry a guy, he tells you he's gay, you divorce him, you get $100 million. I want in on that action. Find me a gay dude with $200 million so I can marry him and get $100 million out of it. And then I'll buy an internet clickbait site. It'll be perfect. Schmidtbait. We'll call it schmidtbait.com. Book it, schmidtbait.com. What else did you buy from me earlier today? What did we say? Spiderbait Ale. That's right. We got all of it, folks. So she comes downstairs, and everybody's just like, oh, hello. And I will say they didn't really pay her any mind. She was very nice, and she went to some people that she knew, and she said hello. But it wasn't like she walked down the staircase into a throng of people going, Ariana, Ariana, because that's far too many syllables. They all just chanted huff, huff, huff. So she came downstairs, and then when they did that, it was terrible because then the gardener sprayed some spray paint into a bag and breathed it and died. So I'm bringing in the food. And these Russian dudes are just like reaching in and eating it. They're just pulling out ribs and eating the food. And they're like, oh, it's very good. It's so delicious. And I'm like, yes, it is. I don't know if that's a Russian accent, but it might be. And then there were women just kind of looking bored. And I think one of the women ate a grape and then was rushed to the hospital because it's the most that she's eaten in a year. But they're unwrapping my food, and they're ignoring the other food, and they're just eating what I brought. To the point where I started to wonder, are those wax foods? Like, I didn't know if that was just like a pile of wax turkeys. I mean, I had no idea. I don't know how the rich do things. Again, I was waiting for barbecue giraffe to come loping out. So Ariana comes down, and I said, hey, Ms. Huffington, I need somebody to pay. You know, you got to sign the credit card and all that. She's like, oh, okay, well, hold on, we'll get someone. And she went and found somebody, and he came up to me, and she went out to the pool then to greet her guests. And this dude walked up. In my head, I'm like, well, great, I got to deal with some personal assistant, which makes sense. I couldn't even believe I got to Ariana, but she came into the kitchen. It's the only reason I spoke to her. So I was asking around looking to see if anybody would pay. And then when she came downstairs, I knew she was the one. But then she referred me to this other guy. And this dude walks up. And, I mean, he's dressed impeccably. You know, he's got open collared shirt and a gold fucking chain with an emerald on it. And he just looks like cash. And he starts to talk, and he's Russian. And I said, you know what, there's actually a balance due. And he's like, well, I don't know how much. And I said, well, I told him how much it was. It was like $400. And he's like, well, can you use credit card? And I said, well, yeah. I go, that's fine. I go, but I have to call the shop because this is before we did the squares, the mobile pay. He goes, it's okay. It's all right. And he gives me a a Visa card that is in Russian because it truly is everywhere you want to be. So it's all in Russian, even like the funky, weird, like his name looks, I mean, everything. So, but the numbers are fine. So I call up the shop, and I'm at the pool looking out at, I can see Sacramento from her pool. I mean, it's fucking crazy. I actually took photos. I had to because I was waiting for them to come over and pay. I took photos of the pool. I took photos of the view. It was just astonishing. So the Russian dude comes over, and he's like, can we use credit card? He gives it to me. I call the shop. And as I'm telling them the number over the phone, he comes over and he goes, can I talk to you? And I said, yes, I'm about to run the card, and then, you know, we'll have to get a verification. And he's like, all right, I'll wait till you are finished. And he walks over. I get the confirmation, and they pay, and everything's fine. Of course. I mean, what if they were declined? It would have been the funniest fucking thing in the world. They were not. But I said, okay, I'm on my way back. So I hung up, and I said, all right, sir, thank you very much. Because he didn't put a tip on the card. I just ran it for the amount. And so I went up to him and I said, all right, thank you. And he goes, could you bring us more food? And I said, pardon me? And he goes, more food. We need more food. I said, well like what specifically? And he goes, everything. And I said, okay, I understand that. I go, so you mean like what I brought before? And he goes, more, same or different, just everything. Bring us all bring food, whatever you have. Like, and it was, you know what it struck me? It struck me as it was the casualness of wealth. The, hey, poor person, bring us whatever you have. Load up your pack mule and climb back up here to the sun and unload your supplies. We will take all you have off your hands. You know what? You have pleased us with your initial offering. Please bring more, not unlike this. And I had no idea what to do. So I said, all right, do you know what you would want? And he goes, bring us everything. He literally said, bring us everything. I said, okay, so you mean like ribs? And he goes, everything, all you have. And the drinks. We must have drinks. And I go, like soda? Or he goes, can you bring beer? And I go, we don't deliver beer. And he goes, all right, just water and soda. And I go, how much? And he goes, just everything. And he walks away. That was his order. Bring me everything. So I call the shop. I get the manager on the phone, and I'm like, hey, these guys want more food. He's like, well, what do you want? And I go, they want everything. He goes, what are you saying? And I go, dude, these guys, do you know who Ariana Huffington is? And he goes, yeah. And I go, okay. I am standing in a bank vault. And they just said, bring food. And I said, what do you want? And they said, bring everything. They don't care. And he goes, well, do they want another extravaganza? I go, they want 10 extravaganzas. I go, dude, this is your opportunity. They just said, sell us everything. If I was you, I would cook everything in the fucking shop and let me bring it back to them. Just do that. And he's like, well, I'm not going to do that. I go, dude, I'm telling you, this guy is a walking dollar sign. Because I'm terrible. Like, I mean, it's just, they weren't specific. Because I'm the guy who, I think I may have done this once. I think I told you this story. I worked at a pizza place when I was a kid, and I worked at Little Caesars Pizza. Did I tell the story on here? I must have. Well, Little Caesars, as you know, is pizza. Buy one, get one free. So one night, like Friday night, this guy called up, and he's like, hey, I want a pizza. And we're like, okay. And he wanted just pepperoni and mushroom. And we said, great. And we go, what do you want on the other pizza? He goes, I don't want another pizza. We go, no, it's buy one, get one free. It's Little Caesars. And he goes, I don't care. I don't want another pizza. And we're like, well, you I mean, you buy one, you get one free. It's just, all of our packaging is geared that way. I don't know why you wouldn't want, because again, I could have just said, okay, you want one pizza, but I was like so pissed that he was just like, fuck that. I don't want another pizza. I was just, and again, I'm 18. What the fuck? Or no, I was like 20. I think it was 20. And so I said, what do you mean you don't want another pizza? Like it's pizza. That's the whole deal. That's the drill. We've got a fucking container. It gets to, and he's like, well, I don't care. I just want one pizza. And I said, all right, you don't want the second pizza? He goes, well, no, I don't. I mean, if you give it to me, give it to me. And I go, well, then what do you want on it? He goes, surprise me. So we spelled out eat me and anchovies.
Oh my God!
Surprise!
Did you get fired?
No.
Did he laugh?
Yeah, I don't know. He got it home and he opened it. He never fucking called. Because again, it's in a bag that you staple. He didn't open it there. We put onions on it and we've spelled out eat me and anchovies on top of it. Surprise! You fucking hump. It's pizza, goddammit. If you just want pizza, call the pizza place. Don't call the pizza place. We got a cartoon that'll yell it right in your face. I swear to God, I told that story on here.
Don't remember that.
Spelled out eat me and anchovies. Fucking hysterical.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, Lenny fired me. All right, so
Really?
eventually,
Oh.
not for that. He fired me for a bunch of other dumb shit I did. So this guy's just like, whatever, bring it, surprise me. So I'm like, dude, if you say that, I'm going to bring you everything. God damn it. But the manager was like, dude, I can't do that. He goes, well, what if I did? He goes, what if we did like another extravaganza and a beggar's banquet? And then I go, yeah, and they want drinks. And he's like, what? How many? And I go, just all of them. They want all the drinks. I'm not lying to you. He literally said, bring everything. Whatever we can fit in my car and I can schlep up here and I'll find a tree to sleep under at the end of the night. Whatever the fuck we have to do to get them their stuff. Let's do this. And he's like, oh, all right. We can do that. That's fine. So he decided to make an extravaganza and a beggars, which is, it's a lot more food. Again, it's double and a half. So I go over and I find the guy by the pool and I said, you know what? I will be back. He goes, oh, thank you very much. Please bring everything. And as I walked out, the 3 Russian dudes are still eating with their hands. They're the only ones eating, by the way. I don't know why they want more food, but these 3 other young Russian dudes are just eating with their hands. And they're like, and literally sauce on their face, like they're rich and good looking, but they're just like, oh, it's very good. This food is, bring more, bring everything. And we're like, yes, okay, I will bring everything. So I go out to my car, I bring the camera, I load it in, drive down to Earth, I should say. Jesus Christ. I get back into a fucking space shuttle and go back to the terra firma. And when I walk in, everybody's just cooking and flying. And he's like, what is with these people? And I go, dude, this woman has $100 million. I go, and she didn't even talk to me. She had a Russian dude come over with a Russian Visa card. I go, dude, we should sell them everything. Do you have a car you don't want? Let's bring them everything. He said everything. He's like, well, this should be enough. And I go, it should be enough, but they don't want enough. He didn't say bring me enough. He said bring me everything. So as they're cooking it, other people are coming up to me and they're like, where were you? And I go, do you know Ariana Huffington? They're like, yes. And I go, I was on her planet. That's where I was. I went to Planet Huffington with Neil Armstrong. We went there. We brought food. We hit a golf ball. We took one small step for man, one giant step for me, darling. And these guys, and so I'm telling them, I go, this house, it was huge, and there was a pool. And as I'm telling them, like, bartender comes over and another waitress comes over, and then I'm telling like 7 people about the house and the Russians and the food and the sauce and the pool and the view. And I'm showing them pictures on my phone. And honestly, in my head, I went, you know who I am? I'm the country mouse. Literally, I'm the country mouse come back to the city mice. And I'm just like, you're not going to believe what I saw. I mean, it was so terrible. But it was just that thing where I got to be honest with you, man. Look, we're all chasing it. Okay, whether you're happy with your family and your job, or whether you're unhappy and you're trying to be something better or bigger than what you are now, everybody is chasing something, and I'm chasing something larger than what I am right now. And sitting there, you look out and you see, and you're just like, why? How did I miss it? What could I do? How could I get here? It just makes your mind spin because you're like, how did they get this much money? How can anyone have this much money or space or freedom to do whatever they want? Jesus Christ. And I'm schlepping back and forth in my car and bringing them everything as if they didn't have it already. And I'm not angry. I'm not like, I don't begrudge anybody their success. Certainly not. I mean, it's amazing that they have it. You just want to know how you can find it, how you can find a small piece of it, a sliver of it, anything. And will you be truly happy if you find it? You don't know. I have no fucking clue. I have no idea. I know what makes me happy now, and I'm lucky enough to have her around and in my life. But I would love to be happier with her and see her all the time. It's just, you just think, you wonder. So I load up the car. I have to get a second Cambro. Uh, and I I get up to the fucking top of the earth, and there's been some exiting. Some people have left, so now I can actually use the wheels, and I roll it all the way up to the door. And then I carry the food in, and I set it up, and Ariana's there. She's still meeting people, and it seems like there's even less people there. But I think it's because all of the models were standing sideways, and I couldn't see them anymore. Uh, it is just, I mean, it is just this house full of beauty and sadness, and I'm bringing in food. I'm bringing in food, and those guys, hey, good to see you. And it wasn't like fucking Dan Aykroyd and Steve Martin from Saturday Night Live. I mean, they were really good looking guys, and you could tell that they were fucking rich. And they're like, "Good to see you. You bring more food." And I'm like, "Yes." And I'm bringing it in, and they're opening it as I'm bringing it in, we brought in okra. And what is this? It's okra. Oh, it looks delicious. And they're eating that with their hands. I mean, just crazy. And again, like I said, it's just the ease and confidence of wealth and knowing you can't do anything wrong. You can't ever do anything wrong. No one can question you. No one can tell you what to do. No one can tell you that what you're doing is out of line because you're it and you know it and they knew it. They're eating food right out of the tin with their hands. I just keep bringing it in, and they're finding spaces for it on another, like, there's a second kitchen in the back that I didn't see. So they make me walk to that kitchen and put stuff on the island back there. I bring some stuff out to the pool. Anywhere they can find room, they're putting barbecue. And they're not putting it in fancy chafing dishes or serving trays. They're leaving it in what I brought it in and just tearing open the fucking plastic wrap and reaching in and grabbing it with their hands. So I walk in, and this time I had the Visa card number, so we actually charged it, so the guy has to sign the card. So I go to find Ariana, and I see her, and I say, thank you, at any time you want us to, because you have to schlep and say, hey, look, if you guys want any catering done, or, it's that thing where you try to plant your flag a little bit. And she's like, well, it all looks very delicious, and everyone is very happy. Thank you so much. And I said, thank you. And I should tell you this, too. She's beautiful. I know it sounds weird, but and again, it's that thing of, she's well scrubbed and she's rich and she carries herself a certain way to where she radiates. And so just even standing next to her, I was like, oh, I see it. It's like whenever you see, like I said, when Natasha Gregson Wagner opened the door and I went, I see it. There's a tractor beam. You can feel it. You can be in that pull. And Ariana had it. So I walk over because the Russian guy, we used his Visa card. So I go to him and I says, hey, I said, I need a signature. And he's like, oh, that's fine. What is the, and I go, here, I need to see your card to take an imprint. And I did. And so I gave him the slip, and he signs his name, and there's a spot on there to write in a tip. Now, I had already brought him $400 worth of food. This time I brought him $650, I think. So he signs the card, and he had to sign the other slip because I had to bring it back because I did it over the phone. He signs the first slip, the $400 slip, and he puts 0 in the tip. And then on the $650 slip, he takes his pen and he signs it. And then he hands me the slips. He didn't fill out the tip. Didn't even put a 0. And so I looked at him and I'm like, okay, well, I noticed you put a 0 on the first slip. You didn't put one on the second tip. And he's like, oh, and he goes, I will not tip on the card. I said, okay. And I stood there waiting. And he turned away to his drink, and then he took a phone call. And I was not going to leave. Because he didn't dismiss me. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't say go. He said he wouldn't tip on the card, which was not a definitive answer as far as I was concerned. And I never do this. I don't pimp for tips and, $5 here or there. But this seemed important. So I waited, and he took the phone call, and he put the phone down, and he looked at me, and he goes, oh. He goes, and he looks at his friend, because I should tell you, he had a guy orbiting him the entire time. And he looks at him and he goes, and he starts speaking in Russian to that guy, and the guy speaks back in Russian, and the guy looks at me and he goes, I am sorry, I thought he was taking care of you. He is not taking care of you? And I go, no, and he actually hits the guy in the shoulder, like, come on, what is wrong with you? And he's got the phone, and he goes, hold on, and he puts the phone on hold, and in Russian, he puts the phone away, and he reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out a 12-inch softball-sized roll of cash. It's the Travolta wad from Pulp Fiction. But it's larger than that because Travolta used rubber bands. This guy has scrunchies on his money. This guy had a fucking money scrunchie. That's how rich people are. This guy has a money scrunchie, goddammit. A money clip wouldn't have got it done. This guy had a money scrunchie which is with his fucking initials on it. Black money scrunchie with a gold buckle. Takes it off. I heard the money go as he unfolded it in his hand. And it opens up, and I would love to tell you that he was, it started with singles and then fives and then tens and then, nope. It was all hundreds. The entire wad. This entire 12-inch softball, this entire can of stewed tomatoes, this entire Pee Wee League football was $100 bills with a money scrunchie around it with a gold buckle with his fucking initials on it. And he takes it out and I heard it go, I heard it unravel like he put his money in a card dealing shoe. He flips it open. It makes the noise. And he peels off a $100 bill and he hands it to me. And I was like, do you need change? And he goes, no, why would I need change? I was like, I don't know. I was just asking. He goes, no, I don't need change. And then he takes another $100 bill and he hands it to me. And looks at me. And it was awesome. But also I was kind of dumbfounded. Like I didn't know. It kind of caught me off guard. So he hands me $200. And then he looks at me and he's still got his phone in his hand and he goes, is that okay? And it was crazy more than okay. But I wanted to look at him so desperately. I wanted to look at him and just go, give me everything. You guys can get me at mike@MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40year-old-boy. You can follow me at Twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the artwork, all of the music, and all of the good stuff that's associated with the show that Lily doesn't do. I show up and I talk, and then they make it something that's worthwhile. And David will also do that for you at his company, artbydmh.com. I'm not sure if it's a company. It's a guy with a brush. But still, he does amazing work, and if you commission him, he will do fantastic paintings for you. He will do all sorts of artwork, lovely stuff. If you go to artbydmh.com, that's artbydmh.com, and see my friend David Hernandez. Oh, and you can also be his friend at Facebook. If you just want to be friends, if you don't want to commission him for a painting, you can be his friend at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez, but you want to commission him for artwork, so you want to go to artbydmh.com. Trust me. My friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show. She is a fantastic woman and a great person. You can find her at several different Twitter accounts. You can follow her at twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, twitter.com/MNTs, and twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest. You can be her friend at facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. But if you would like to write her a personal note and find out if there are carrots in a Caesar salad or not, you can write her at Lily@burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Get to
Hi. I'd like to tell you about the Monday Night Tease Burlesque Show. Nah, I don't like that way. That's too sophisticated. That's like a weird way.
Much more sophisticated than the show.
Was very, absolutely. It's certainly too sophisticated for everything that's come previous. So we should do it the regular way, right? Or should we start over? Should we take this all out? We shouldn't take this out, should we? We should not. See, we're all meta now because she's like, are you thinking we should really take it out? Because when I tell her to take stuff out, it'll be on microphone sometimes. So she doesn't know really if we're supposed to take this out or not. She's actually giving me a death stare. All right, sorry. Put that fork down. Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Tease every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. It is an amazing venue. It is a terrific show. Check that. It's an amazing show and a terrific venue. I apologize. I'm going to say that again. It's an amazing, terrific show in a venue. Our friend Lily Von Schupp is the producer of that Monday Night Tease show, and she is sitting right here directly across from me. Hey, Lily, how are you?
Good.
You're the best around. That's what I say. That's a Karate Kid song, right? I think it is. I believe it is. Why don't you know what? Stand up. Let me sweep the leg. We'll see if it fits. Lily, you run the Monday Night Tease, and this particular week was a fantastic extravaganza. I understand there were 2 quinceañeras and a birthday and all sorts of fun stuff. How was the Monday Night Tease this week?
Crowded as hell.
That's good news. That's big news for you.
The Monday Night Tease was really, really crowded, and we were there until almost 1:30 in the morning.
That sounds almost pointed, as if you were trying to let somebody know that was happening and true. Somebody, I don't know who it was, but a gentleman posted on my Facebook wall. The name escapes me right now, but they wrote, because it was weird. Monday night, I got home from Venice, and I went right on the computer, because that's what I do. I scramble right to the computer, because I live in the internet. I live in earbuds, and I live on the internet. And on my Facebook wall, this gentleman wrote, he checked in at the 3 Clubs, and it said, no Lily or Mike Schmidt, frowny face. And it was 11:30 in my head. I'm like, well, the show must be still going on. I mean, it starts at 10. It usually goes till midnight. So I was going to write to him and go, dude, if you would tell me you were in town, as I've told people on the air many times, if you're going to be in town and you wanted to say hi or whatever, I'll come to the Monday Night Tease if you come and buy a ticket. It's like a nice little package deal. And then I'll sit there with you while you drink your drinks, and then I will shake your hand courteously, and I will leave. Or
Make sure you slap Mike on the ass.
Well, then, you'll get them in free, or do they just slap me on the ass?
No, just to slap
Okay,
you on the ass.
I'll take that. That's fine. Especially now, I'm in shape now. Dude, if you would have slapped me on the ass 9 months ago, it would still be moving. I mean, honestly, it would have been terrible. But now I got a bony ass. Oh, it's all bony. And then my wallet is like a thing. Oh, never mind. All right, so did I tell you my fucking trainer made fun of my wallet? I did, right? Because I have a regular wallet. I have a leather man's wallet. It's a man's wallet, damn it. And I pulled it out one day, and he just goes, oh, my God, what's with the giant wallet? I go, it's a regular wallet. It goes in your back pocket. He goes, no, look at this. And he has a front wallet, for his front pocket. It's the size of credit cards, and you slide money in there or whatever. I said, dude, I actually carry cash. I go, I can't have the fucking tiniest wallet in the world. And he's like, oh, yeah, well, whatever, man. Your wallet is stupid.
Do you carry checks, too?
I have a checkbook that I carry, just in case. If I ever run into somebody who needs a check.
Boy, I hope you shop at Ralph's in front of me someday.
I can't wait. And I'll tell you what I like to do? I like to fill out my check, and then there's a carbon copy on it, so I'd always look back and I can see exactly what I wrote a check for. They delivered my checks with the carbon thing. I was fucking furious. I'm like, why is that there? I am not 95 years old. I better go back through the checkbook and say, oh, I wrote the card. Shut the fuck up, old man. If you write a check, write it in your register. Please don't pull out your checkbook and show me that you have carbons. Ooh, you have carbons.
My business account, I have to.
Yeah, you're not an old man.
It's my business account.
It is a lot of business.
It is
No,
my business.
that's a business account. You ain't too far going to see that, kid. This is a business. Hey, kid, how's the family? Ha ha! Morris. All right, so the Monday Night Tease, Lily, how did it go other than crowded as hell?
Fucking amazing.
You hosted that show, I understand. It went well for you to host.
We did. We had contests and prizes and gave away like 10 drinks and just
Balloon barrage.
balloon barrage.
Sounds like it was fun.
Party.
Amazing. A lot of people having fun. Balloons being popped, balloons being stomped on, balloons being shot across the room. Sounds like a lot of fun with balloons at that show.
It was a balloon show.
Sounds great. Well, you guys missed that, but you can come to any other Monday Night Tease in the future. And if you're going to be there and you would like to say hey to me, tell me beforehand so I can stop by and say hello. Because I can't read your fucking mind. I don't know who you are. I'm no psychic. And if I was a psychic, the last thing I would do is read your mind to find out when you were going to be at the fucking Monday Night Tease. I'd find the combination to your safe, and I would break it and take your gym clothes. Why? That was where my brain went. I mixed up locker and safe, so I went gym clothes instead of money. Why would I even say gym clothes? I'm not going to steal your gym clothes. I would steal your money from your safe and your gym clothes from your gym. You know what? Fuck it. I get all the combinations out of your head. I steal all your bullshit. I even steal your locks. Take that. So it was a good show, fantastic
Yes.
show. Coming up this week, there's another show. Am I correct?
Yes.
Is it a theme show?
No.
It is a Monday Night Tea show.
It is an out-of-town show.
Whoa. Whoa, some out of town talent.
Don't blink burlesque.
Don't Blink Burlesque.
They competed at BHOF last year. There's 2 title holders. They're going to
Slow
rock the house.
down. What is BHOF? What does that mean?
Burlesque Hall of Fame.
Just wanted to let the people know, because I know what it means. You know I know what it means. I'm well versed in burlesque lingo thanks to you. I know what a pasty is. I know what a C string is. So the show, I had to fumble through that. I'm like, C string? Yes, it is a C string, because I wanted to say C cup. Look, I'll tell you this. I have intimate knowledge of what a C cup is. All right, so that's great. So the show is going to be with Don't Blink Burlesque, and they are from where? They completed at the Burlesque Hall
They're
of
from
Fame,
Tucson.
Arizona.
Yeah.
I just watched a Family Guy, and they said Tucson was the worst city in the world. Like it was a pun, like a punchline, a joke.
Well, let's hope not. I'm going to be hosting there in November.
No, Tucson's an amazing place, of course.
I hope so.
So it's going to be good
Don't
for
take
you.
the clothes off there.
So Don't Blink Burlesque is going to be in town, and that's this week. Tickets are available at brownpapertickets.com for this week's show and for all of the upcoming shows at the Monday Night Teas. You can go ahead to brownpapertickets.com and enter the name Lily Von Stupp or Monday Night Teas and find all of the tickets for sale. You can go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and become a friend of the show, and you will get all the information about the upcoming events, and you will get to see pictures from past events, including a lot of nudity, a lot of half-naked girls, a lot of people bending over. It's a fucking cool-ass thing. So go ahead and join facebook.com/Monday Night Teas, and you will see all of these photos and all of this fun stuff and learn about upcoming shows. Hooray! You can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and you can go to the Joe Business page. Well, you know what? MikeSchmidtComedy.com has so many different pages. Go to the Rocky with a Blog page and read something I wrote 3 years ago. And then go to the Hey What's Happening page and see something I wrote 2 years ago. And then, I probably should update the website, I would imagine. Although I'm going to be doing most of my work upcoming here on SpiderBiteAle.com. You can go to the Joe Business page at MikeSchmidtComedy.com, and TweakedAudio.com is there selling earbuds and gear and cock-ring watches. So go ahead and grab some of that stuff. Thank you to the people at Tweaked Audio for sponsoring the show. We want to thank everyone who has purchased download sets. Year 1, Year 2, Year 3, Year 4, Year 5, Year 6, all available individually or together as the Reservoir Schmidt Dogs download set. Pick that up soon. For the Life of Schmitty, the single, Schmitty Comes Alive, the concert download. It's not really a concert. I guess it's a live performance, but it's awesome. And it's a story I've only told once in my entire life at that show. I should probably bring that back. Maybe I should tour with that. Maybe that's the thing I should do on stage. Live. I can't decide. We've got tour shirts. Not tour shirts, but we got shirts available. I heard from our friend David Watson. Oh, David Watson. He got the shirts and he enjoyed them. I don't know if I talked about that on here already. But David did like the shirts that we sent him and thank him so much. And I don't know, I've not heard from our friend Catherine. She's in Canada. She ordered a bunch of stuff. I hope it got there safely. It had to be mushed across the border by sled dogs. But hopefully she grabbed it in that tiny burg of Toronto. Here's where Catherine lives. What an idiot I am. Why am I saying all these things about her? It's so rude. No, I'm sorry. Catherine lives in Winnipeg. She shares a tiny flat with Sandra D. Sanchez. All right, so, folks, as they raise my son together. So, if you want to buy the Yurt Dirt Dirt shirt, that's available. And I have a few Atlanta shirts, some other shirts. If you have inquiries about cities, write me. Denver shirts, I have some Denver shirts left. I know that. But we have plenty of Yurt Dirt Dirt shirts. So if you want to grab one or more, go ahead and do that. More. Yes, you want more, of course. And then we have the artwork for sale as well. We have all sorts of cool stuff at the Joe Business page. Go check it out. And I will tell you this, there's the Amazon pennant on the wall. If you click through that, you'll find our store. And if you like stuff in there, you can buy it. But also, if you click through the upper left-hand corner, there's a Amazon link that'll take you to main Amazon. And then anything you buy will be credited to me and the show and Lily and David. And we're all thrilled that you would do that for us. Anything you buy will get us money. And like I wrote in the email blast a couple of weeks ago, I demand my pound of flesh from your purchase of a pound of flesh. So by all means, go ahead and sign up and do that sort of thing. That would be fun. I'd appreciate it. So would you. That's right, you, because you'll be getting cool stuff. And I'll be getting credit at Amazon. If you want to just donate to the show, if you want to get it through all the rigmarole, you don't need a Conquering watch. You don't need autoerotic asphyxiation earbuds. You don't need a download set. You don't need a shirt. You don't need artwork. You don't need anything from Amazon. I highly question you not needing any of these things, but whatever. That's you. You live your life. If you just want to donate to the show, in the upper left-hand corner of every single page of MikeSchmidtComedy.com, there's a little Schmitty. He's got his pocket out. Click on him, and you can donate to the show one solid amount, or you can donate every month. $2 a month, $5 a month, $10 a month, or $25 a month. And, if more, I'm 3 people away. I'm 3 $25 a month donators away from making an offer on Ariana Huffington's house. So please walk right in, sit right down, click that button, and send me some dough. I'm at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival. Please don't forget that. I will be performing on Friday or Saturday because I'm on a plane Saturday night. I will be heading out of town, so I'll be performing earlier on Saturday or I'll be performing on Friday night. But I can tell you this, folks. The way they've set it up this year at the Los Angeles Podcast Festival, it turns out that they're selling the tickets with links that are personalized for the shows. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking to yourselves, well, so what? I don't know why you're thinking that. And you're this far into the show and you're thinking, so what, just now? So here's the deal. They're telling us to tweet and to use social media, and I will do all of those things. I will put this link on Facebook. I will put this link out there for Twitter, but I'm going to say it on my show all the time, and you're going to get tired of hearing it, and here's why. Because it turns out, folks, that this year, I actually get a cut if I sell tickets. So I will get a certain percentage of the revenue if you guys buy tickets to the podcast festival using my link. And it also lets them know how many people are coming specifically to see my show, or at least we're steered toward the podcast festival via my show. Now, look, I know a lot of you people out there listen to multiple podcasts. You may listen to hundreds of podcasts in a week. Some of you out there listen to Mark Maron. Some of you listen to Oh Yeah Dude. Some of you listen to The Bomb Squad. Some of you listen to Never Not Funny. Some of you listen to all of those shows at once. At once. You have them all going at once, trying to pick out one cogent thought, and you can't. Probably slow them down. Play them individually. However, I am here to tell you those shows are dicks. So... No, that's not right. Of course, they're all nice people. Everybody loves one another in the podcasting community. We're all friends. But here's the thing. If you buy tickets to the Podcast Fest through my link, like I said, I get credit, and then they see the people who are actually coming to see my show, and that might mean they invite me back next year. Because here's the deal. Like, I assume this is a cool thing because it generates revenue for our show, and it's going to help Lily and David and I, which is fantastic, and I appreciate that. But at the same time, it gives them kind of a spyglass into our show, into our support. It lets them, you know what they are right now? There's a painting on the wall of Lily here at the house. Well, the eyes are moving, and that's Graham Elwood looking around to see how many tickets I'm going to sell to the LA Podcast Festival with this link. That's right. This is it's like I'm in a haunted podcast, and they're staring at me right now. Right now, Chris Mancini's hiding in a suit of armor. He's trying to see how many tickets I can move. That's what's happening. And Lily and I are just walking through the haunted hallways trying to make it happen. But you know what? We can't because there's Dave Anthony and Andy Wood hiding behind a two-way mirror trying to see how many tickets we move. So here's what you need to do, folks. If you're coming to the podcast festival, first of all, you're going to come and you're going to say hi to me because you like me. But in order to do that, you need to buy a ticket. And it's either a full weekend pass or you can buy a ticket for one day. But I'm telling you this, I'm performing on Friday or Saturday. Don't buy a Sunday ticket. Do not buy a Sunday ticket and then go, where's Mike Schmidt? Because I'm telling you right now, I will not be there. But I will be performing earlier on Saturday or I'll be performing Friday night. That's my window. Climb through it. Here's the link. If you go to 2014 lapodfest.eventbrite.com/?AFF equals boy.
Are you fucking kidding?
Of course not. Why would I be kidding? Let me repeat that for you folks.
No, stop. Just stop the nonsense.
Let me repeat that for you folks.
What's the URL?
Were you going to make a link?
I'm dead serious. These people are fucking assholes.
They are not. Well, let's not say all that. They're good people, and besides, they're staring at you through a painting, a two-way mirror, and a suit of armor right now.
Good, I hope they can see my finger.
Let's make
What's
it.
the URL?
We're going to make a little clicky linky for
Yeah,
us.
what's
Okay.
the URL?
All right. It is. Do you need? What, am I doing this on the air?
Yeah, I need the whole URL.
Okay, but are we recording right now?
Yes.
Oh my Christ! Why? Why do people have to hear this? All right. So, do you want the HTTP?
Yes.
Okay. HTTP://2014 LAPOD FEST dot EVENT BRITE slash question mark AFF equal sign BOY.
All right, hang tight.
Now I will tell you people out there, if you are stubborn and you want to use that thing I just spelled out, go right ahead and do it.
I just
Although,
want to make sure I typed it.
but let me ask you this: why did they not make it 40YOB? Like, why wouldn't you do that at the end? You know, because it's like that's kind of the abbreviation I use all the time. Or 40. 40 would even be like perfect. But I guess they couldn't use numbers. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's boy, so they use that. So if you guys want to use that link, you can. But right now, my friend Lily, who is the brains of the outfit, is generating a personalized link. Didn't we have, what was our Kickstarter link? It was like Kick Me, Kick Mike, or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know, which we'll come up with another one of those later. But right now, we're going to come up with one right now so you guys can buy tickets for passes for the whole show, the whole weekend, or you can just buy them for the day that I'll be there, which will be Saturday or Friday, either one. There's no schedule announced yet. I do not have a time. All I can tell you is for sure I will be performing sometime before 3 o'clock on Saturday, and I will be performing Friday night, either one of those, because I'm on a fucking... It's not coming up or not coming up?
2014 LA Podfest.eventbrite
Yes.
/ AFF equals boy.
And those are backward slashes. You know that, right? Folks, keep it indie with Mike Schmidt, and you'll hear all about breaking down a web address. Yeah, / AFF. Here, I'm actually going to press the link and see where it goes. It goes to Eventbrite. And my phone is, dude, this is the end of the show. This is not worth listening to. Oh, wait, there it is, Los Angeles Podcast Festival. So you can buy the weekend festival pass. You can buy the Friday day pass.
It's not coming up as a valid, let me tell you.
Saturday pass or Sunday pass. It's the new location, which is the Sofitel Hotel in Los Angeles. It's the third year, and it's amazing. I really enjoy doing it. It's so fun. There's a special stand-up comedy show Saturday night with Pod Smash, which I will not be at, of course, but I will be there I'll be there the 26th and at least half of the 27th. I just don't know which day I'm performing. I'm either performing on Friday or Saturday. It's at the Sofitel Los Angeles in Beverly Hills, 8555 Beverly Boulevard. Still able to make a link, you Lily? Is it happening? No? No link?
It's not coming up as I typed it.
Okay. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Give me your phone.
Okay, well...
Turn it off. Let me see it.
It was an accident. Jesus Christ, don't yell at me. And again, this is all in the air, by the way. I don't know if you're aware of that. People are
I'm
listening.
aware of it.
Okay, because, well, look, I talked a lot earlier about people and money and tips, and now we're going to just go ahead and kill time when Lily makes a web address, I guess. I'm trying to keep talking.
No, I mean, keep going. I'll just give you the address.
In the show? Oh, okay. All right, so we're going to have a link here by the end. But, folks, the point is, if you buy tickets to the Podfest, you
hit
can...
the fucking link to the goddamn motherfucking cocksucking.
You should probably stop swearing with your swear business. It's right there. There you go. So yeah, she has my phone and she's looking at the links that are available. So like I said, you can donate to the show. You can go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. The LA Podfest is going to be September 27th, 28th, and 29th. I will be there the 27th and the 28th. I'll be there the 27th no matter what, meeting, greeting, and saying hi to people. I don't know if I'm performing that day. And then I'll be performing on either Friday or Saturday. So I'll be there those days, and then I have to leave and get a plane. My plane leaves at 5:45 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, so I'll only be there for half of the day. Is it coming up? It's not coming up? She's shaking her head and furious. You know what? Actually, folks, here's what you want to do. You want to go to lapodfest.com/Caesar salad / is that, no? She's going to smile at all? No, not going to happen. All right, so it's funny because I was telling you guys about being out on the road and driving and getting tips, and I'm trying to, you know what's funny? I can fill time when I'm not trying to fill time, and now that I'm trying to fill time, it's just going fucking south. I mean, it's going absolutely nowhere because I'm sitting here and I'm trying to go ahead and just tell people all this stuff about the links and what you're going to do about the web address, and I don't know exactly what to fucking say because I don't have a fucking plan, but I never have a plan. I never come in with a sheet. That was me just talking downhill. What you got? You got it? Did you make something? We're still looking. All right, folks. So again, please remember that I have some live appearances that are going to be coming up in addition to this Podfest. I don't have them announced. I have cities that I was looking at. I told you I'm looking at certain cities. I'm going to look at certain theaters. I'm hoping to come out in the fall and the winter. We're going to get a Kickstarter going. It's going to be amazing, folks. I have such grandiose plans for this. And you know what's really good for making plans and coming through on them and paying off? Working 55 hours a week in your car, because that really gives you internet access and lets you go ahead and get everything set up and make sure that everyone's going to be able to come out and see you and square everything away and get you a typing thing, and you can go ahead and make a list and buy. Oh, hi, how are you?
It's tiny.cc
Tiny.cc
/40YOB pod
/40YOB pod 40, right?
Yeah.
So tiny Give me it one more time.
Tiny/cc
Tiny/cc.
for slash.
Tiny/cc/40YOB pod.
Yes.
Okay, and that's POD. So tiny/cc/40YOB pod.
And I'm putting it on your page right now.
Okay, so it'll go up on the page right there, and we'll tweet it out as well. We'll do that so you can use that link and go ahead and buy tickets, and we will get credit for that, which will be great. Yes.
And re-share this link.
Please give the link to others. Go ahead and do it and share it on social media and share it on your Facebook pages. And if people are coming to the Podcast Fest that you know, go ahead and reach out to them and let them use this link. Because again, look, all shows need support. All shows need your backing. Just none of them need it quite as much as my show does. So go ahead and do that because I'm going to be selfish and throw everybody else under the bus and do what I can to get some sort of revenue and show them that I have a fan base that will come out and see me do things live. I don't want to be an afterthought. I don't want it to be people going, oh, well, we're going to come to the Podcast Festival. Maybe we'll see that Mike Schmidt. Let's let them know that people actually come to the Podcast Festival because Mike Schmidt is there. By the way, hi, I'm Mike Schmidt. Why am I referring to myself in the third person? So cool. And by the way, if enough of you buy these tickets and I wind up getting credit, then I maybe, just maybe, I won't whine about tips for fucking 90 minutes. Maybe that'll happen, right? I won't have to go ahead and tell you about this fucking job that I have over and over and goddamn over. It was funny. I was telling you the story about the Huffington thing because it's, that was an amazing delivery and that was fun. But dudes, I'm going to tell you now about the worst delivery I've ever had, ever, because it was last night. And I think I alluded to this earlier in the show where I was like, oh my God, this was actually the thing that I was starting to talk about, and then I spun off into everything else. We got a call last night and these dudes ordered like $110 worth of food. And they were 3.5 miles away from the shop, which is just around the periphery of where we go. And they were doing the mobile pay with the credit card. So that's the good thing is that if they hit the 15%, then it's off the 110. And I'm doing the math. And I'm like, all right, great. So I drive to their house, and they don't give me a buzzer code or an apartment number. So that means I'm kind of stuck. So I have to call them on their cell phone. I call their cell phone 5 times because they don't recognize my number. So they won't answer the cell phone. So I call the shop and I'm like, hey, you got to call these dudes because I'm calling them. They're not answering and I don't have a buzzer code for them. They said, okay, hold on. And so I hung up the phone. And then a guy who lived in the building showed up. And I did what I always do. He was going to open the gate and I said, hey, if I promise not to murder anyone, can I come inside? And he looked at me and he goes, only if you pinky swear. I said, happy to do it. And I put my hand out and he actually did it. I pinky swore that I wouldn't murder anybody in the building. So he let me in and I walked over to the apartment that I had to go to. Because you know why? Because the apartment number was on the receipt, but not the code, the buzzer code. So I get to their apartment number and I knock on the door. And the first thing I hear is somebody yell, about time. Now, when you order from us, we tell you we will have the food to you in an hour. Because it's barbecue and it's made to order. Like it's made on a grill. I mean, it's not like it's cold and we're not fucking with heat lamps at all. We make everything to order. So we tell you an hour. Our goal is to get it to you in 45 minutes. But we'll give you an hour just in case. Because sometimes I have 3 or 4 deliveries in the car. I heard that and I was at this house in 40 minutes. About time! And I knew then I hated them. So I hear these dogs start going crazy inside. And it's an apartment. I'm like, why do you have dogs in your apartment? But that's fine. Dogs are going crazy. And they're taking some time to get the dogs under control. I can hear it. He's like, well, bring him over here, Mac, whatever his fucking name was. I don't know. And then the other guy, I hear voices inside. I hear dogs. There's several dogs and several guys. And a guy comes to the door. By the way, he yells about time. It takes them at least 45 seconds to a minute then to get to the door. And I'm just standing there holding their food, waiting, hating them because I can hear them inside and I can hear them taking their fucking time. Sure enough, I hear the guy fumbling with the door. And all of a sudden he opens the door really fast and he goes, get him! And he thrusts his dog out by the collar. He drags the dog out and makes the dog come running at me. And they asked me what breed of dog it was. I don't know. It was a black dog, like a lab or something. I knew it wasn't a pit bull or a fucking chihuahua. Like literally, it wasn't one of those. So it was a dog. It wasn't a pit bull, it wasn't a chihuahua, and it wasn't a people-faced dog. So it was just a dog. And he's holding him by the collar, and he dragged him out and went, "Get him!" toward me. And this is the thing, though. I didn't flinch. I didn't jump. I didn't yell. I didn't move. I fucking stood there stoically because that's who I am. I'm like, fuck you and your dog and you guys, and I don't fucking care. I've done this a million fucking times. But he goes, "Get him," and he thrusts the dog out, and then literally turns to his friends and goes, "Ah, ha, ha, ha," and starts laughing, and they start cracking up, and his buddy comes up and high-fives him like they scared me or made me do something, not realizing I'm just staring a hole through his fucking head. And honestly, if his dog would have nipped me or done anything, I would have stomped its skull into fucking splinters. I wouldn't have thought twice. So I'm standing there. He's still holding the dog by the fucking choke collar. And his buddy comes over and high-fives him. And I surmise the situation. There's 3 dudes. By dudes, dudes is generous. Because I would call them dudes if I liked them. There's 3 bros in their house. 3 shirtless bros. 3 steakhead, muscle-bound, shirtless bros covered in tattoos. I'm not sure if this was an apartment or the Octagon. I wasn't sure what I knocked on. But he's got the dog by the collar. The other dude is holding a dog in a bear hug. The other dude walked up and fucking high-fived him. And what's so funny is they're just naked. Like they're in shorts, and they're not wearing shoes. One of them's wearing flip-flops, and they're all their shirts off. And I wanted to be like, dudes, you realize how homoerotic this entire situation looks. You're holding dogs by their collars. You're half naked. You've ordered sauce-laden foods. I mean, you ordered big bones. I mean, literally, you know what's happening here. But they were all just fucking, they were tough. They thought they were tough. And the dude looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, it's about time." I said, "I called you 5 times on your cell phone." He goes, "Why didn't you just buzz?" And I go, "They didn't give me a buzzer code." He goes, "Not my problem." And he hands me his credit card and then just completely like, he ignores me and he's talking to his friends. So I take the credit card and I swipe it, and it goes through. And also, I should tell you, this fucking steakhead had braces, like really big fucking braces. And so in my head, I'm just like, well, dude, the first thing I'm going to do would headbutt you in the mouth, because then you're out of commission. I mean, you're like completely finished. Not only do you lose fucking 11 grand, but you're spitting fucking wire and blood all over the goddamn place. And then I can stomp your dog's head into splinters. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I get it. Look, I have pockets of rage, just pockets. Not to be confused with the prophets of rage, who our good friend Terminator X would tell you about. All right, so anyway. I swipe the card, and then the number comes up, and I look at him, and I go, "Hey," I go, "if you want a tip, you can just press one of the buttons at the top and then sign in the middle with your fingertip." And he goes, "Fuck all that." And he looks at his friend, and he goes, "You got some money for a tip?" And his bro just goes, "I don't know, bro." And he goes, "What about you? You got money for a tip, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, hold on." And this bro fishes into his swim trunks, and he throws him like a fucking zipper wallet thing, like a little tiny one, like you would wear when you were surfing or something. He throws it to him. The guy catches it. He opens it up. He's not even looking at me. Again, they're treating me like a gnat. Like, remember when I said you're a king when you order food and then a peasant shows up? He's taking it that seriously. He's treating me like a peasant, like I was supposed to bring him food. It's my job, and he was deigned to order people around in his life. He catches the wallet. He opens it up. $111 worth of food. 110 and change. He opens the wallet, and he flips through the 20s, and he pulls out 2 singles. And he doesn't even look at me. He just holds them out, and he like crushes them. He doesn't hand them to me. He crunches them into my hand. And I'm holding them, and he walks away from me. I'm standing in his house. They take the food. He crunches the $2. He hasn't even signed the fucking phone yet. So I'm looking, and I go, "Hey." He goes, "What? I tipped you." I go, "You got to sign the phone." He's like, "Oh, fucking unbelievable." And his buddy's like, "Come on, bro, we got to eat." And he's like, "Oh, I got to fucking sign this stupid thing." And then he, made an X. I think maybe an X. May have been an X. I think he only had it together to do one line of the X. He's kind of a dimwit. And I said, "Do you want a receipt?" And he goes, "Yeah, I need a fucking receipt." He goes, "What do you think, bro?" And I go, "Well, there's a receipt taped to the bag. Do you want a second receipt?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "All right, I need your email address or your text number." And he goes, "Fine, send it." I go, "I need your phone number." He goes, "It's on the receipt, bro. You called me 5 times, right?" I said, "Yes, but I erased them immediately when I was done calling you." He goes, "Oh, fuck this." So I made him give me the receipt, and I go, "Well, you don't have to give me the receipt if you just tell me your phone number." "No, you can fucking take it off of here." So he made me read it off the receipt. And I read it and I punched it in and then I hit send receipt. And he just goes, all right, we done here? And I was seething with rage. I mean, I was so angry. Like literally, I wanted to rip the $2 into confetti and just throw it in the air. I wanted to do anything. I was mad and pissed, and it brought on all of the things that I have about I'm delivering food for a living and I'm being disrespected. It's like all of those terrible things. I'm being disrespected by young people who are just fucking jagoffs. And it's all of those issues and everything comes bubbling to the top. And so I wanted to just laugh in his face, or I wanted to freak out. Or I wanted to throw the money. Or I wanted to tear it up. And I wanted to do those things. But instead, I left. I mean, because there's nothing you can do. I can't laugh. I can't get mad. But I never acknowledged him. I just literally turned on a heel and I went to my car. And in my head, I'm like, dude, you should have killed those dudes. You should have just moshed through their entire apartment. You should have fucking let them have it. You should have gone crazy. But instead, man, I got in my car and I thought, I'm a creep. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. This show is not surgical at all. You know what it is? Actually, it's surgery. This show is surgery performed with a helicopter. That's what it is. It's like there's no delicate knife strokes and there's no intricate cuts. It is just a fucking guy getting tossed into a propeller and there's blood and guts and viscera all over the goddamn place. But eventually, we'll get his liver out. It's gonna happen. Look, you can't solve everything in 2.5 hours in a stripper's kitchen, folks. That's clean and sharp. Clean and sharp. Clean and sharp. Clean and sharp.